Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? This slow and unpredictable offseason has made me rethink some of my predictions. Let's get into it.
Wake up the dumb bambino and have me face him. Maybe I'll drill him in the ass.
And what is going on, baseball fans? How you doing on this wonderful Friday evening? Is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. I can never remember what day it is. I never really go this, I never go live this late. This is kind of weird. It's 10:43. I'm usually about to snuggle into bed at this time, but you know what? I felt like I had to come on here, and I wanted to do some updates to my predictions this offseason. While we've had a few good trades, we've had a few exciting moments. Overall, this has been, as long as I have liked baseball, this has been one of the worst off seasons ever. Like, there is nothing happening. As we all know, we're dying for just some free agents to go somewhere. We're seeing minor moves here and there, but this has just been painfully slow this off season. And, you know, just because of the pandemic and everything, teams are kind of taking their time a little bit more. Some teams are not even spending like we thought they would. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's have some more fun. I'm bored anyway. So I'm going to go and take a look back at some of my old predictions, and I'm going to make some changes to some of those predictions. So, but I'm seeing 74 people in the chat. You guys are awesome for coming out tonight. I was a little worried. I didn't know if there was going to be really that many people coming in tonight. I never go this late, first off, and I don't think I've gone live on a Friday for a bit. I can't remember. Anyway, I digress. But thank you so much for coming out tonight. 77 people in the chat. I got to do my cheap plugs. I apologize, but if you are looking for more baseball news, more baseball content, you're new here, you have no idea what's going on, we're talking baseball here all the time. Hit that subscribe button. I'm talking baseball what feels like pretty much every single day. Hit that like button for me, everyone. I want to get to 100 likes tonight. Just did the update. We're at 31 likes at the moment. If we can get to 100 tonight, that would be fantastic. And also, go follow me on Twitter. I'm talking baseball there throughout the day. So, everyone, you know, I think I have around 30 players on this new updated list. And, you know, just a, I don't know what the word is, a warning, I guess. Not a warning, that's not the right word, but just a reminder. These are predictions. Take it with a grain of salt. I have no inside information at all, but I'm just basing my predictions basically off of what my potato brain knows from baseball. So, again, take it with a grain of salt. These are just fun. It really, to me, predictions, I like predictions mainly for the fact because it can start conversation. And yeah, this is not the end all be all. You are more than welcome to disagree with me. Just do not be rude to me in the chat, please. That would be wonderful. Thank you very much. Again, take it with a grain of salt. These are just fun. But I did put a lot of thought into some of these updates, and hopefully some of you agree. And honestly, hopefully some of you disagree. I don't want everyone to agree with everything I say. but I hope you can at least understand where I'm coming from with some of my updates. So I'm also basing this based off of team needs, based off of things that I've been reading, based off of just whatever's been going on this offseason. So I'm not just kind of randomly just picking where a player is going to go. So let me get the... Whoa! We're starting off the stream hot. We got a $5 super chat. Oh, why is it not popping up on the screen? Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why that's not popping up. But Jim Halpert, he's back. Oh, man, Jim Halpert. I love The Office. Indians might get an outfielder and a bullpen arm now that they cleared $40 million in payroll. Hey, they definitely could go make a move. I know the Indians, they're not really, too well known for, going out and spending money, but they do have a little bit of money. Maybe they can go out and get someone. I still like the Indians. I still think the Indians, I still think they have a team that can be pretty competitive. They got great pitching. They got Jose Ramirez. I like a couple of pieces on that team. So, hey, don't count out the Indians just yet. I know they lost Francisco Lindor and Carrasco's gone, but hey, maybe they can make a move or two this offseason and they can be right back in it. So, everyone, let's get started here. Let me turn off the music. So I'm just going to kind of run through this. I'll take some pauses here and there to kind of talk to you guys in the chat. Again, I think I have like 30 players on this list. So I don't want to, again, it's 10:48 right now, Eastern Standard Time. If you are from anywhere else in the country or the world, welcome. So I'm not sure where the time is for everyone in here, but for me, it's almost 11 o'clock. So either way, I don't want to take up too much of all of your time. Again, we got a lot of players on here, so I'm going to try and stop myself from rambling so much because then this stream will just go forever. So, alrighty, I'm going to start off my list with a couple of safe bets. I'm actually going to knock out two birds with one stone here. We're going to first take a look at Yadier Molina. I think he's going to go back to the Cardinals, and I think Adam Wainwright is going to go back to the Cardinals as well. In the beginning of this offseason, it was looking like maybe Yadier Molina was... He was getting a lot of interest. He actually went out. He had an interview. I forget what news station he had it with. I feel like, I don't remember where. Was it somewhere in Puerto Rico? I don't really remember. But he basically said he was getting interest from teams like the Yankees, the Padres, the Mets were giving him a call. And he was also talking with the Cardinals as well. I just think ultimately, this guy is a lifetime player with the Cardinals. Like, sure, it would be fun to see him, somewhere like the Bronx, or it would have been fun to see him with the Mets. Even the Padres, I think that would have been fun. But ultimately, I think with Yadier Molina, I think this is a guy, he's a lifelong Cardinal. Bring him back, but I don't think the Cardinals are fully ready to transition to their new catcher, Andrew Knizner. I think you can bring back Molina. They can split playing time. I mean, what better mentor to have than a Yadier Molina? I think Yadier Molina is still going to give this team a lot. I mean, basically, you can kind of think of him as like a player coach, really, when you think about it with Yadier Molina. So I think Yadier Molina ends up staying. I was thinking a little this offseason, man, maybe the Yankees could go get him. He could go to a legendary franchise like the Yankees, one legendary franchise to another. And I thought that would have been a pretty cool move. But ultimately, I think Molina is going to stay. And as for Wainwright, he has gotten some interest from other teams. I've heard the Braves getting in on him. I've seen the Royals as of late. I think that would be really fun if he went to the Royals. But ultimately, I think the Cardinals, I think both sides benefit from having each other back. Wainwright, he's getting towards the end of his career. Cardinals need some pitching. They're not going to have Dakota Hudson. So I think ultimately, bringing Wainwright back, it's especially in that NL Central. And that's why I think these two can go back to the Cardinals, and they're not just going to sit there and waste their time, because the Cardinals are in it every single year. No matter how bad their team might look, they're always in it every single year. And they always have a chance every single year. So Wainwright, he's going to give them some depth in the rotation. Molina, he's going to be still a productive catcher. He's still going to give you great defense. He's going to give you something with the bat, and he's going to provide some mentorship for Andrew Knizner, the catcher of the future. So, everyone, what do you think? I agree, James Scott. Yadi is a better fit with the Yankees. I don't know if you meant than the Yankees more than the Cardinals, but I think the Yankees are a great fit as well. But what do you guys think? Do you think Molina and Wainwright end up staying in St. Louis? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you agree, or give me a thumbs down. Do you think they both go elsewhere? Michael Montez, who is the best AL team? Right now, I'm thinking the Yankees. I think the Yankees right now. I mean, the Rays took a step back. You can maybe make an argument for the White Sox. But I think right now, I'm giving that nod to the Yankees. Chester the Chicken Eater, Andrew Lee, the Leopard, Broke, Tice Thompson. Okay, we're getting thumbs up across the board. Alrighty, I'm glad I started off with a safe one because I'm not sure how the rest of these are going to go. So, got to start safe. I think that's the best. Start off on the right foot. So here we go. We're gonna get into our next prediction. And I don't think I had him on my original list, but Archie Bradley, I think he's going to go to the Yankees. I think the Yankees really could use another bullpen arm. This is a guy who was basically, he was not even going to make that much, and the Reds let him go he was going to make peanuts this next year. And, you know, the Yankees, they were in on him a little bit at the trade deadline. Their name were popping up with him. I think ultimately the Yankees, they need another arm in that bullpen, and I think Archie Bradley would be awesome. The only thing with Archie Bradley, man, is he's going to have to get rid of the beard. I hate to say that, but let's actually go take a look at Archie Bradley. I'm going to go take a look at a couple of things here. But I really do think the Yankees could use another arm. Let me get everything pulled up here. I mean, if it ends up not being Archie Bradley, I think the Yankees, they do need to get someone else in that bullpen. And I think Bradley, he's not going to cost too much. You know the Yankees, they're always kind of looking at trying to save some money. So maybe Bradley could be a pretty good piece. But let's share the screen here. Here we go. So let's take a look at Bradley real quick. You're going to get some decent velocity from him. He's going to sit in the mid-90s for the most part. The spin rate is, you know, it's not the greatest with Bradley, but he's had success over the years. Overall, in 2020, a 2.95 ERA, had a few saves, 18 strikeouts over 18 innings. Hey, he had a good year. Overall, if we take a look at the barrel percentage, did go up a little this year. Granted, it was a lot smaller of a sample size, but overall, the exit velocity, it pretty much kind of stayed the same. And his exit velocity given up was actually a lot less. So that's pretty good. But ultimately, what you're going to see with Bradley, you're going to see a lot of fastballs from him. You're going to see that curveball. Let's actually go take a look at where his pitches were. Ultimately, you know, not the greatest stuff, but I think Bradley is someone where he has gotten it done over the years. If we take a look here, the four-seamer does have some rise in it. If we take a look at the horizontal movement, or not rise, sorry, some horizontal movement. And, you know, that actually ranks pretty good. Ultimately, I think just some velocity out of that bullpen. They lost Tommy Kahnle. I think this is another arm. I mean, he's only 28 years old as well. Seventh pick out of the 2011 draft. But I think ultimately he's going to give you some velocity out of that bullpen. I think that's something the Yankees need. So, you know, and I don't think he's going to cost a lot of money. So, I don't know. That's where I'm at. If we actually take a look real quick at the Yankees' current bullpen, I believe they also just lost Jonathan Holder. He wasn't really the greatest out there, but right now there hasn't really been much change at all to this Yankee bullpen. You're still going to have Chapman at the back end. You're still going to have Britton. Ottavino, you're really hoping from a Yankees, if you're a Yankee fan, Ottavino really figures something out. I think he's got to figure something out. I was kind of reading a little bit more about Ottavino, and he tried to be more of a ground ball pitcher this past year, where really what his bread and butter has always been is being a fly ball pitcher. So Adam Ottavino, he kind of changed his approach a little bit, and he kind of got away from what made Adam Ottavino very good, and he just didn't have success this year. Hopefully Adam Ottavino, he can, you know, get it together this year, because the Yankees really need that. Chad Green, you still got him. Sessa, I mean, you know, they're okay. I mean, Sessa, actually, what were his final numbers? Again, only a 60-game season. I mean, oh, wow, he actually, you know, he did pretty good. Luis Sessa did okay. You know, middle relief guy. And then you take a look at Chad Green. He had a pretty good 2019, from what I remember. A solid year from Chad Green. I believe he did take how many? So hold on a second. I'm trying to refresh my brain. He had a lot more strikeouts He had a much higher strikeout rate in 2019. He was striking out less guys on average this year. So Chad Green, I mean, they have arms in this bullpen. So I think just adding an arm, someone with some decent velocity could help. Ultimately, if it's not Archie Bradley, I mean, there's other arms out there as well. There's plenty of bullpen arms out there. But I think Archie Bradley could be a good fit with the Yankees. Unfortunately, he would have to shave the beard. So tell me what you think down below. Archie Bradley to the Yankees. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell me in the chat. What do you think? Andrew Lee with the thumbs down. Leopard says, meh. Banana says, probably. Ben Baller with the thumbs down. CFMC, he's giving the thumbs up. All right. Yeah, awesome. I see what you're saying, man. Hey, as a man with a beard myself, I mean, I would be severely depressed if I had to shave my beard. I would look like a giant baby. So, Robert Moraga with the thumbs down. Ultimately, though, I think we can all at least find common ground that we think the Yankees do need to maybe add another arm for that bullpen. I think we can all agree on that. So, moving on to my next prediction. Here we go. We're going to stick with bullpen arms right now, and I have Trevor Rosenthal. Maybe Trevor Rosenthal could go to the Yankees. Maybe. But on this list, I have Trevor Rosenthal going back to the Padres. What a great fit this was. I think the Padres really struck gold by bringing him in. He did extremely well coming over from the Padres, had a bounce back year this year. Ultimately, the Padres, hey, I know everyone right now is on the Padres bandwagon. They are a fun team this offseason. They got Blake Snell. They got Yu Darvish. They're making moves. They got Ha-Seong Kim. Ultimately, though, that bullpen, they need to bring back Trevor Rosenthal. They traded for him because they needed an arm in that bullpen. And now, him being a free agent, this is a guy, you got to bring this guy back. You have to bring him back. Kirby Yates was down this past year, and he's also a free agent. He might be on this list, so stay tuned. But Trevor Rosenthal, he was really good last year. So let's actually take a look at Rosenthal. I'm probably going to be using Baseball Savant quite a bit tonight because I like Baseball Savant. It's pretty nice. So here we go. Going to share my screen. All right, Trevor Rosenthal, what a solid year from him. A 1.90 ERA, had 11 saves overall. Look at the strikeouts, 38 over 23 and 2/3. I mean, this is a guy, look at all the red here. He was just having an awesome year, just very effective. The xWOBA was very good. I mean, strikeout percentage was good. The xERA was good. Just very good expected numbers from Trevor Rosenthal. And if we take a look here, the slider was very good. Four-seamer had some life to it. This is a guy who had Tommy John recently, and he has really bounced back. And we just talked about Archie Bradley and the Yankees. If the Yankees could get a Trevor Rosenthal, oh man, that would be. Could you imagine that? Honestly, the more I think, do I want to change my prediction on the fly right now? No, I can't do that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Yankees give Trevor Rosenthal's agent a call. I think maybe this is something you could see, but ultimately, I think the Padres, I mean, come on. Like, this guy did so good for this Padres team. I'm surprised they haven't locked him up already. I don't know how they haven't signed him already. I mean, he's only 30 years old. I'm sure he's looking for a lot of money. But again, he just recently had Tommy John, and he had success ultimately over a small sample size. So, but ultimately, I'm very surprised the Padres have not gotten something done with him. They need to shore up that bullpen. If we actually go take a look at the Padres bullpen, let's take a look here. Because right now, really all you're looking at is Drew Pomeranz. He was having some injury issues last year. Emilio Pagan, I mean, he came over. He was struggling out of the gate. He ended up finishing with a 4.50 ERA. He did a little better down the stretch. Not too many strikeouts from Emilio Pagan. Not really his Rays kind of numbers. If you take a look, he was really good in 2019. I mean, again, he's just coming over from the, from the Rays. He's on a new team. Usually it takes time for these guys to kind of get a flow going with your catchers and everything. You're in a new environment. So ultimately, I think Emilio Pagan, he's going to have an effective year in 2021. But I think you can't you got to bring Rosenthal back, in my opinion. I think this is a guy who had so much success. Ultimately, while Pagan he was really good in 2019. 96 strikeouts, over 70 innings. That's really good. He was one of the best relievers that year. Trust me, I saw him up close on the Rays, with my Red Sox. He killed us. So, Emilio Pagan, I would bank on him having a better year. But Drew Pomeranz, he had a really good year last year, but he was kind of just having some injury problems. He was held to about just under 19 innings. A really good overall ERA, 1.45. So, Pomeranz, I think you got to bring Rosenthal back. You got to add one more arm for this bullpen. I don't think you can just kind of go into this year with this bullpen. I think it's okay with what it is, but if you really want to be this team that really tries to make a deep playoff run, I think you got to bring Rosenthal back. So that's just where I think he's going to go. I think it was just such a good fit. So, everyone, I'm just going to move right along here because I was looking at a lot of your responses during, and I was seeing a good amount of thumbs ups. I did see a couple of thumbs downs. So, but ultimately, Trevor Rosenthal going back to the Padres. Up next, I have Mr. John Lester, and while I would love to see John Lester come back to the Red Sox, I would love it if he could finish his career in Boston where he started. That would be awesome. Ultimately, I just don't think it's going to happen. I did have John Lester going back to the Cubs on my original predictions. But as we have seen with the Cubs this offseason, I don't know what they're doing. I guess they have money now that Darvish is gone. They don't have to worry about that salary for this year. So I guess they could bring Lester back. But if they're really trying to save some money, I think maybe Lester goes elsewhere, and there has not really been anything going on between Lester and the Cubs recently. So I am changing my prediction, and I think John Lester, he goes to San Francisco. He's going to the Giants. The Giants could really use a left-handed pitcher in that rotation, and ultimately, John Lester, I think he would actually fit pretty well in that ballpark, a pitcher's ballpark. I think John Lester, I think it would be a pretty good fit with the Giants. So let's actually pull up their rotation. Let's look at the depth chart real quick. Hum Baby Baseball, if you're out there, this one's for you. So let's actually take a look real quick. Sharing the screen. So if we take a look at the current rotation, they have not one left-handed pitcher. They got no one. They got all righties. They got Johnny Cueto, Kevin Gausman, Logan Webb. They did bring in Anthony DeSclafani, and they got Tyler Beede. So they got no lefties in that rotation. Hey, Lester and the Giants, they have been connected a little bit this offseason. He's going to have to go across the country to his new team. But ultimately, this is kind of like a San Francisco Giants kind of a signing, like bringing in some kind of like a veteran guy. I think some will agree with this, some will disagree with this, but hey, I think this is a good fit. Ultimately, really the only teams that I've seen connected to Lester this offseason are the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Giants, and I think the Braves at one point, but ultimately, I think the Giants would be a good fit for him. He had a really down year this past year. And I think that pitcher's ballpark, it could end up doing pretty good for him. You know what? What I should have done? I should have went to Baseball Reference and I should have looked at his splits. How has he done in his career in San Francisco? Let's go take a look here. This could maybe change my opinion right on the fly. Let's take a look. No, I don't want game logs. I want splits. Looking at the career splits. Here we go. So going to ballparks. God, there are so many splits. I could never work at this for a website like this. I love numbers, but holy cow, man. How do they keep up with all this? It blows my mind how these people keep up with all this. There's so much on here. Here we go. So taking a look here. Here we go. Where are you? No, I don't want opponent. I want ballpark. Here we go. San Francisco. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait, is this batting? Why do they give his batting stats? God. Here we go. San Francisco. Okay, so he's had 3 starts in his career there, a 2.70 ERA. Hey, small sample size, but that's pretty good if you ask me. Hey, why not? You know, I think Giants, they need a lefty. John Lester, I don't know if he's going back to the Cubs. It seems like the Cubs are just wanting to save money. I mean, he would go back on a cheaper deal, but I don't know. I mean, with the Cubs doing what they did with Darvish, and now Chris Bryant, his name is starting to pop up a little bit. Wilson Contreras, his name is starting to pop up a little bit. You know, I just ultimately wonder if they are going to bring Lester back. And I'm trying to think of other teams that he could go to. Sure, he could go to the Red Sox, but I don't see Chaim Bloom giving him the money. I just don't see it. So if we take a look here at Baseball Savant, I mean, as you can see here, his numbers are way down. And I think a move to a pitcher-friendly ballpark would help him out for the last couple of years of his career. So he still got some decent spin on the curveball. He still doesn't walk a lot of guys. Sorry, you guys can't see. Let me actually make this a little smaller. Okay, can you guys see that now? All right, you guys can see that now. So he's still very good at not issuing walks. He ranked in the top 25%. So he's still very good at that. He's just getting hit. That's the only problem. And I think if he moves to a pitcher ballpark like San Francisco, I think that might help him out a little bit. And so, hey, why not? Last couple of years of your career, he's a guy that he grew up on the West Coast in Seattle. So, hey, that's kind of close by. I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with anything, but hey, that's my prediction. John Lester goes to the Giants. So, if you really, one more thing as well, if we take a look at his numbers, the exit velocity is still kind of, it's not bad. Like, I mean, it's been pretty consistent the last few years. I mean, I understand the numbers kind of keep getting worse, but if we take a look at how he's done, do they give more years here? All right, whatever. So just looking at the standard stats, the ERA has been kind of, I mean, last year it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was a 4.46. I mean, it's not great. But 2018, just 2 years ago, he was really good. So, hey, I think maybe a change of scenery, pitcher-friendly ballpark, I think that can help out John Lester a lot. So, I already kind of saw some reactions. I'm seeing thumbs downs. Awesome, 71-78. He will go to Boston, trust me. I hope you're right, because I love John Lester. I wonder, man, he just seems like, I mean, his velocity has diminished, and I think that's a big part of why he is getting hit harder. So he's getting older. The stuff is just not there. So I just wonder, would Fenway really be a good fit for him? I don't know. Trust me, I would love for him to come back to Boston, but I would hate for him to come back to Boston and just get absolutely shellacked in the last couple of years of his career. That would not be the right way to go out, if you ask me. So, all right, moving on. That's my next prediction. John Lester to the Giants. Here we go. My next prediction. We got Taijuan Walker going to the Detroit Tigers. This was on my original list. I am not changing it. I think the Tigers are still looking for some starting pitching. I think he just kind of fits that mold of what they're trying to do. He's still kind of young. I don't know. Like, I just see this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's telling me this. But I have seen some articles this past offseason where the Taijuan Walker and the Tigers have been connected. So let's actually share the screen. Here we go. So if we take a look here, Tigers have talked to free agent Taijuan Walker. So they have been connected with each other. I don't know why. It's just like, I just kind of, I don't know what it is. It just kind of makes sense to me. I just think it can work. If we take a look at the depth chart, kind of what they have already with starting pitching. I mean, the thing with the Tigers is they got a lot of young starting pitching. So they would have to kind of squeeze him in here. Or are they going to go with Casey Mize? Is this going to be, are they going to go full force with Casey Mize here? I guess it depends on what they do here. Matthew Boyd has just been terrible. I don't know what's up with this dude. He can strike out a lot of guys. He reminds me of like Robbie Ray a lot. Like he kind of, I don't know, like he just gets hit, man. But he can strike out a lot of guys. Tariq Skubal. Casey Mize, Michael Fulmer. I mean, ultimately, the Tigers just did not have good pitching, and they're trying to transition into a new era of Tiger baseball. Taijuan Walker, he's trying to transition into some good pitching in his career, and he actually had a pretty good year last year. So let's actually take a look at Baseball Savant. Here we go. So he was with the Mariners, and then he got traded. Can we please hurry up, Baseball Savant? Here we go. So, the numbers still were a bit low this past year, but he wasn't giving up too much exit velocity. He wasn't giving up a lot of hard hit percentage. Ultimately, the xWOBA, the xERA, the x batting average, those were a little low. So, I don't know. I mean, I still think he's only 28 years old. This is a guy, he's had Tommy John, but ultimately he had success this past year. If you take a look at the stats, 11 starts, 2.70 ERA. You know, not a lot of strikeouts, but he was getting the job done with the Blue Jays. And I don't know, he's trying to resurrect his career fully. This is a guy who had a lot of hype. He had a lot of hype coming in when he started his career. And I don't know, the Tigers, they're trying to transition. Maybe Taijuan Walker, hey, he can go there for a few years, and maybe, hey, he's a part of the next great franchise, or the next great Tigers team. So, but yeah, no, I don't know. It's I just think the Tigers need starting pitching. I don't think he's going to break the bank. He's trying to bounce back in his career. It just seems like maybe a safe place to go for him. So that's where I'm at. So what do you guys think? Taijuan Walker to the Tigers? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you think he goes somewhere else? If you do think he doesn't go to the Tigers, tell me in the chat where you think he goes. Frankie Turner, maybe the Yankees. That seems like a Brian Cashman kind of a move. Stetson K to the Yankees. Hey, we got a couple of Yankees. Hey, maybe Enzo, honestly, maybe San Francisco. I think they need a lefty. I think San Francisco needs to get a lefty. That's the only thing. Yeah, Red Sox baseball, I'm not really like wow over Taijuan Walker, you know, like I think he's someone who could be solid if he just stays healthy. That's all. So hey, Banana Giolito, man. I like me some Lucas Giolito. Maybe the Brewers, Wyatt. That'd be pretty cool. I think that would be good. Hey, the Rockies, Quentin Jackus, man. Hey, that could be possible. Maybe the Angels. The Angels need starting pitching. Wyatt Wheeler, you think it's a good move? So, alrighty. I'm not going to get too deep into that one. Kind of just a quickie right there. All right, moving on. We have our next prediction. We're going to get into some more bullpen arms here, going back to the relievers. I have Alex Colome up next. In my original list, I think I had Alex Colome going to the Angels, I think. But now that they've gotten Raisel Iglesias, so I guess you can maybe give me some credit there for thinking that the Angels, they wanted to go after a bullpen arm. They wanted to go after an impact bullpen arm. However, they did it via trade. And hey, they got Raisel Iglesias. I love that move. But Alex Colome, he is still out there. And this one team in particular, they have been in reports lately. They are aggressive for relievers for their bullpen, and that's the Houston Astros. I think Alex Colome, he's going to go to the Astros. I think this would be a good fit. I think the Astros, you know, they're not going to have Justin Verlander. The starting pitching ended up actually being pretty decent, but the Astros really need some more bullpen arms. So I think Alex Colome could be a pretty good fit here with Ryan Presley in that bullpen. So, yeah, I know. I expected all of this. I expected the Houston Trash Tros, the cheaters. Boo. All right, everyone, just start putting trash cans in the chat. We might as well. Get it out of your system. Get it out of your system now. Get out of your system. So, Jackson, what is going on, my friend? Oh, man, I hope you feel better soon, my friend. Get some rest. Get some rest. But alrighty, everyone. But yeah, Alex Colome, I think he would be a pretty good fit with the Astros. I think the Astros, they're trying to take a bit of a... I'm seeing so many trash cans right now. But I think Alex Colome would be a good fit with the Astros. I think Houston, they're trying to take a bit of a different approach. I think they're trying to really build up their bullpen. And hey, ultimately, we can put all the trash cans and everything that we want in the chat, but ultimately, the Houston Astros, they were they were that close to going back to the World Series. I'm just saying. I mean, we can hate on them all we want, but they were that close. So they're going to be losing George Springer. Man, I don't know, man. I don't think he goes back to the Astros. I don't think he's going to go back. But I don't know. Can he go back? Nah, he's not going to go back. So Alex Colome, if we go take a look at the Astros bullpen, let me pull up the depth chart here. Let's share the screen. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, they got pretty good starting pitching. You got Zach Greinke still. Framber Valdez had a pretty good year last year. Christian Javier, he was doing pretty good. Lance McCullers Jr., he was pretty decent for the most part. Jose Urquidy's there. But looking at the bullpen, this bullpen, it really wasn't all that great. Let's actually go to Fangraphs. I'm going to actually start using the leaderboards from last year. Here we go. So we can kind of see where teams were at. Okay, so where were they at? I feel like they were okay out of the bullpen. I can't really remember where they were. Ugh, that Mariners bullpen was so bad. All right, here we go. So taking a look. So the Astros, where were they? All right, they were 14th. Okay, so that makes sense because I couldn't really remember where they were at. They were right in the middle. So I think the Astros, they have some good starting pitching, but I think that bullpen just needs a little help. So I think it would be a good fit. And then, but on top of that, there was something. Here we go. Oh, they also got Ryan Stanek. Where was the report? Here we go. So here is the report. So during the chaos of the Francisco Lindor trade to the New York Mets, Fox 26 sports director Mark Berman, who the heck is that, reported a list of relievers that the Astros are diligently working towards signing. The Houston Astros lacked a true closer in 2020 as Roberto Osuna, now a free agent, fell to injury. With Blake Trinan off the market, the Astros are now targeting Trevor Rosenthal, along with Liam Hendriks, Brad Hand, and Alex Colome. I wonder if Trevor Rosenthal, maybe. Could you imagine that bullpen with Ryan Presley and Trevor Rosenthal? Ryan Presley, to me, is more of a setup guy. I just think ultimately he's going to go back to the Padres. That was a good fit. And I think the Padres need him. Trevor Rosenthal, I could see him going to Houston. But, I mean, Liam Hendriks, I've also read in other places too. Liam Hendriks, Astros. I've been reading the Astros have been going pretty hard after him too. So I don't remember where I read it, but here's an article right here. Oh yeah, it was Ken Rosenthal. The Houston Astros are focused on signing free agent closer Liam Hendriks. Houston reportedly wanted to add Hendriks and reliever Blake Trinan, who re-signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hendriks. It's kind of just so hard to me in my head. I just feel like players, I don't know, like, are they going to want to go to Houston? I think Houston's going to struggle with free agents in the next couple of years just because of everything that happened. I just don't see a big name like Hendriks going to Houston. I think the Astros are going to have to wait a few years. I don't think Hendriks is going there. Just my gut is telling me that he's not going. I don't know. I'm not basing that off of anything. Except my gut. So I just think Hendriks, I think he's going to go elsewhere ultimately. But if they could do it, if the Astros could bring him in, that would be huge. But ultimately, I just don't think he's going to go there. So I think Colome, I think this is a guy where I think they can get him. Colome, oh, you know what? Actually, let's go over Colome real quick. Okay, so as we know with Colome, he's not going to strike out a lot of guys. But he just gets the job done. So he has also been linked to the Red Sox because he was with the Rays while Chaim Bloom was with the Rays. But as you can see here, he gets the job done. He doesn't have a lot of velocity. He doesn't have a lot of spin rate. But he has great movement on all of his other pitches, and he's just really good. So he doesn't give up a lot of hard hit balls. He doesn't give up a lot of barrels. So, I mean, he's just been really good. Look at this year. He had an awesome year with the White Sox. 21 games, 0.81 ERA. As you can see here, not a lot of strikeouts. But ultimately, Colome, he just got the job done. And he just keeps getting the job done every single year. So, going back to the past couple of years, look at these numbers. So, I don't know. I think ultimately, he just goes to Houston. I think Houston, they kind of want more of like a shutdown closer kind of a guy. But I could see Colome being their closer. I could see this. Him and Presley maybe going back and forth a little bit. Maybe if Presley closes some days, I don't know. But I think Colome, he's gotten the job done. So that's my pick. I'm going with the Astros. But I'm going to stay with the Astros here. And I don't think they're going to stop there. I think they're also going to go get Brad Hand as well. I think the Astros, they're trying to take a completely new approach. They're trying to load up on bullpen arms. So they're bringing in Alex Colome, the righty, and now they're going to bring in Brad Hand, the lefty, as well. If they're not going to bring in Springer, if they're not going to bring back Springer, then I think, you know what? They're going to bring in a righty, they're going to bring in a lefty, and I think this Astros bullpen is going to start looking pretty good. Hey, Brad Hand to the Rays, that could be pretty good as well. Hey, Stetson K, maybe to the Yankees, that'd be pretty cool. So I think the Astros, I think this is a team where they are trying to really beef up that bullpen. I think that's kind of the way they're going to try and approach things this next year. Because if you really think about it, they haven't been linked to a lot of free agents this offseason. You've heard their name with Marcell Ozuna a little bit. You heard their name a little with George Springer in the beginning of the offseason, but that was mainly more negative, if anything. So, I don't know. I just don't think these guys are going to cost a lot of money. So, or at least like a ton of money, but I think they're going to cost something. But I don't know. I'm just kind of just throwing some stuff out there. I think Brad Hand, Alex Colome, bring those two guys in for the Astros bullpen, and you got a pretty good bullpen right there. So, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? I'm seeing some thumbs downs. I'm seeing a thumbs up. I'm seeing another thumbs down. So, hey, Stetson K, maybe. I think the White Sox would be a good fit as well. I think the White Sox would be a really good fit. Maybe the Phillies. Robbie, do you think my Royals are a wild card team? I think the Royals could be in it. I think they could be involved down the stretch. Look out for the Royals this year. I like what the Royals are doing. Hey, Brad Hand to the Mets as well. That could be a fit. The only reason I didn't go with the Mets, I actually did want to put the Mets for Brad Hand, but I think they're just so focused on George Springer, and you're hearing a lot of stuff right. Are we good? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if we're good. I'm seeing lag. Yeah, it looks like my internet kind of stopped for a second. All right, this is cool. Hey, I'd much rather have a little bit of lag than my microphone doing that annoying thing where I start to sound like a robot underwater. So, all right, cool. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. But I think ultimately, just the Mets, I think they really could use a guy like Brad Hand. And but I think just they're so focused on other things right now, and I think because Houston is so aggressive at the moment, trying to get some bullpen arms, at least according to reports. Hey, you know what? I think Houston goes after Brad Hand and Alex Colome. So those are my predictions. Alrighty, moving on. Here we go. We're gonna move into some position players. Well, actually, we got one position player, and then we're going to go back to the bullpen. So here we go. We're taking a break from the bullpen here for a second. I've got Andrelton Simmons up next. Andrelton Simmons, I had him going to the Athletics in my first predictions, and you know what? I'm sticking with it. I think he would be a great fit in Oakland. He's been with the Angels. He knows Oakland. He knows the Athletics. They need a shortstop. Marcus Semien, I don't know if they're going to bring him back or not. But the Athletics, I don't know if Marcus Semien's looking for some decent money. Marcus Semien could definitely go back on maybe like a one-year deal. But what I know is that the Athletics, they love defense. And this guy can play some defense. And yeah, simple as that. I just think I don't think he's going to cost a lot of money. And, hold on one second. He's not going to cost a lot of money. Honestly, really, what is Andrelton Simmons going to cost? Like $5 million? I don't know. Like, what is he going to cost? Like, he doesn't hit. The guy can defend. But that sounds like an Athletics kind of a move to me. So they definitely could bring Semien back on maybe like a 1-year deal, 2-year deal. I don't know. It's just the Athletics just never want to spend money. And I think Marcus Semien, the problem with Marcus Semien is he had a really good year in 2019. And 2020, he just unfortunately had just a terrible year, but he started doing better down the stretch. So that's why I'm thinking, I think he thinks he can get a contract out there. So with the A's, I think Simmons is just a good fit. They need a shortstop. And hey, so hold on the second. Let's pull up Simmons on Baseball Savant. I don't think I've ever looked him up on Baseball Savant. Here we go. Andrelton Simmons. Here we go. All right, so he's 31. Oh, boy. Oh, look at these blues. So much blue. But he doesn't strike out, so that's actually pretty good. He doesn't strike out, so that's a good thing. You got to think the Athletics love that. He doesn't strike out very much. His on-base is actually pretty good this year. 346. His average was actually pretty good this year. I don't know. Actually, not bad for Andrelton Simmons. But ultimately, this is a guy where this guy's just been really good. So, I mean, again, 2020, I mean, it's a small sample size, but look at the outs above average going back to 2017. So, I mean, this guy can still play. He can definitely still play some shortstop. So, yeah, that's what I think. I'm not going to get too crazy into this. Andrelton Simmons to the Athletics. I think that's a good fit. He knows that division. He's been out west for a while now. So, hey, he's going to go to Oakland. So, moving on to our next prediction. Moving on. Here we go. All right, we're going back to the bullpen. I'm talking a lot of relievers right now. But we were talking about the Padres and how I think Trevor Rosenthal is going to go back to the Padres. The Padres once had a very good closer by the name of Kirby Yates. And, I don't think Kirby Yates is... he could go back. He could. But because these are my predictions and I have Trevor Rosenthal going back, I think Kirby Yates still thinks he can be a closer. And I think the Padres, they're going to stick with the hot hand and just stay with Trevor Rosenthal. They're going to bring him back. So Kirby Yates, he's going to be looking elsewhere. There's a team out there that really could use a closer. And because Kirby Yates was hurt this past year, maybe he goes for a one-year deal for not a lot of money. And there's a team out there that needs bullpen help, supposedly doesn't have a lot of money. I'm just saying, this seems like a perfect fit to me. Kirby Yates to the Phillies. I think this is a great fit. Why not? If you're the Phillies, what the heck do you even have going on for you right now? You need a bullpen. You need something in that bullpen. Why not take a chance on a Kirby Yates? He's not going to be a lot of money. Not going to be a lot of money at all. I don't think he's going to be a lot of money. I don't know. What do I know? I'm not an agent. What do I know? But ultimately, Kirby Yates, he had a down year this past year. So let's actually pull up the stats. Because he was hurt. He had, I think, minor surgery on his arm. Here we go, sharing the screen. Okay, so if we could look at 2019, holy cow. This guy was top notch. He was the best closer in the league. Why not go to the Phillies? Why not? I mean, have a redemption kind of a contract. Give him a little bit of money. They need bullpen help. You're getting one of the best closers that there is. I'm just saying, this guy's really good. Kirby Yates, do not sleep on Kirby Yates. He's getting older, I understand that. The thing is he doesn't throw very hard. He averages he sits in the low 90s for the most part. He averages 94. So the fastball velocity, he's pretty average with it. But this guy has just such nasty off-speed stuff. He has such a good changeup. If we take a look here, or a splitter, sorry. Actually, what are the pitches that he fully throws? Oh, so he just throws four-seamer and split finger. That split finger, it just fades so much, and it just has so much dive. It almost makes me think it's just like this nasty changeup. But he's got the splitter four-seamer combo. He throws a slider sometimes. But the splitter is his bread and butter. Look at how much break he was getting on it in 2019. I mean, goodness gracious. He ranked near the top on the vertical movement. So Kirby Yates, I think he would be a great fit with the Phillies. A great fit. I don't think he's going to cost a lot of money. Give him a one-year deal. Give him a redemption year. And hey, both the Phillies and Kirby Yates can benefit from this kind of a move. So tell me what you think in the chat down below. Wow, we got 154 people in the chat right now. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Really appreciate that. Give me a thumbs up if you think this is a good move. If you think this could happen, give me a thumbs down if you don't think it's going to happen. So while I'm waiting for your responses, if you are new, if you are just coming in for the first time, hey, think about subscribing. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by opening day. And also, if you have yet to hit the like button, if you can hit that like button for me, that's going to help this stream get out to more baseball fans. Hey, you can hit the downvote button as well. If you don't like my face, you can dislike this stream as well. So we're just trying to get out to more baseball fans. Let's actually see where we're at with the likes. 87 likes, everyone. Thank you so much. We are 13 likes away from getting to our goal of 100 likes. So I'm seeing some thumbs ups. I'm seeing some mix. Gabe Palangro, Philly fan in the chat. He's kind of going up and down. He thinks it would be fine. Phantom TJ going up and down. So, JH Sports, what my thoughts on the Mariners? They got some fun young players. Still think, hey, they could maybe be competitive in the next couple of years, but they're still a little bit away. Really excited to see what Julio Rodriguez and Jared Kelenic can do. So, and they actually have some pretty good pitching as well. So don't sleep on the Mariners too much. But anyway, back to the list. Here we go. All right, so we're going to get into some starting pitching now. Jose Quintana, this is a name where I think a lot of people have kind of just forgotten this guy's name. And Jose Quintana, I had him on my original list going to, oh, wow, I'm going blank. Oh, I had him going to the Diamondbacks. I don't remember where I picked him. I'm trying to remember before I click on it. Jose Quintana, I have Jose Quintana going to the Twins. You know what? This seems like a Twins kind of a move. He had a down year with injuries this past year. I think he did something to his thumb, like washing dishes. I don't know. But this seems like a Twins kind of a move. They could use a lefty in that rotation. So why not bring in Jose Quintana? I think this could be a good fit. He pitched out with the White Sox for a while there. He's used to that division. Hey, the Twins, right back to where you were, just, on a different team. So let's go take a look at Jose Quintana real quick. So this is a guy where I still think he can really give you solid production in the middle of your rotation. So, again, it's like the Twins just seem like they're just full of just like number 2 and 3 starters. But whatever, I'm just sticking with the trend here. This is what the Twins just always seem to do. Sure, I could say, oh yeah, they're gonna go get Trevor Bauer. They're gonna go get themselves an ace. But this is what the Twins do. They just go get these kind of guys. But so if we take a look at Quintana. Yes, Gabe, the Phillies, Jose Quintana could maybe go to the Phillies as well. And I thought about that too. But just because of the Phillies with money, I don't know. I didn't do it. So, but if we take a look at Quintana here, doesn't really rank all that great in a lot of stuff, but he doesn't give up a lot of barrels. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. That sounds like a Twins kind of a picture if you ask me. So, this is what you're going to see with Quintana. You're going to see the four-seamer. You're going to see the curve, the sinker, the changeup. So if we take a look, it doesn't really have his numbers from 2019 because he missed most of this year. He only pitched in 4 games. Like I said, he did something with his thumb or something. I think he was washing dishes and he cut his thumb. I mean, what a horrible fluke injury or something or whatever it was. But taking a look, I mean, kind of with Quintana, what you're going to get with Quintana is you're going to get a guy from the left side. He's not going to throw really hard. He's going to give you, like a third, fourth starter kind of maybe I wouldn't even say third, like a 3.5 kind of a 3.5 starter kind of a guy where he's not going to throw too hard. He's just going to give you innings. And I don't know. That's just what the Twins just love to bring in these kind of guys. So, he was with the White Sox for a while. He's used to that division. He's still been in the Central with the Cubs, just in the National League. So that's my pick. I think he goes to the Twins. So, hey, that could just give the Twins more depth in the rotation, and they need a lefty. So, I don't know. I'm kind of just connecting stars here just on a whim. I don't know. Does that even count as connecting stars? I'm just kind of just throwing out some reasons here. So, but what do you guys think of this in the chat? I'm seeing some thumbs ups already. Hey, Jimmy Productions, he could go to the Nationals as well. That could be a pretty good fit. Michael Yench with a thumbs up. Big Ben, unsure. It can be a bunch of teams. Honestly, it really could. I mean, Jose Quintana, this was kind of a hard one for me. And I figured that I did have him on the Diamondbacks in my original list. But I just think the Diamondbacks, I don't know. I think they're going to try and really count on Madison Bumgarner having a bounce back year. They're going to work with Luke Weaver. So I think they're going to try and rely on what they already have. So that's why I kind of switched this one up. So, hey, Quinn, hey, maybe the Pirates. I don't know. Would the Pirates want to? I mean, I just completely forget the Pirates exist. Hey, Banana, we made it to 100 likes. All righty. Thank you, everyone. We made it to over 103 likes for the night. Thank you so much. Let's get to 200 by the end of the night. Gabe Palangro. I have not done Jackie Bradley Jr. yet. So, yeah, Niwahan Sigran. I can see him in a Red Sox uniform. MLB trade rumors did predict Jose Quintana to go to the Red Sox. I don't think so. I don't think this is a guy that the Red Sox, they already have Chris Sale coming back this year at some point. They got Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't see Jose. They already have a couple of lefties. I don't see them bringing in Jose Quintana. When I saw that prediction, I was like, oh, really? Jose Quintana? I mean, first off, I just didn't like it first off. But I just didn't think that was a great take from MLB trade rumors. I don't know. I just think they thought, oh, the Red Sox need starting pitching. He's not going to be a lot of money. Let's just have him go to the Red Sox. I just don't see I don't know. There's no connection with Chaim Bloom at all. He doesn't have great advanced numbers. So, I don't know. I just didn't see Quintana coming to the Red Sox. So that's just me. So, anyway, moving on. We're going to go to our next free agent. I believe we've made it halfway through this list. I think we're about halfway through, so bear with me, everyone. We're still 148 strong. Here we go. Some of you, I think, might disagree with this one because this team has been crying poor a little bit. But, man, this team really could use this kind of a bat. They could really use some more outfield help, and that's Jock Peterson going to the Cardinals. I just think this makes a lot of sense. This just makes a lot of sense. They could use a lefty bat. They really could use a lefty bat that can play some outfield. The only problem with this is that the Cardinals, they just seem to not want to spend money. But I don't know. Come on, man. I just think this is a good move. I don't think Jock Peterson is going to cost you a ton of money. I mean, ultimately, Jock Peterson, he's kind of a platoon guy. So I don't think he's going to cost a ton of money. But ultimately, I think this is a good move. So if we go take a look at the Cardinals depth chart, let me go pull this up real quick. St. Louis Cardinals depth chart. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen. Sorry, everyone. We are having some technical difficulties right now. I am so sorry. Goodness, my mouse. I got to get a new mouse. My mouse is so sensitive. I'll just hover over something and it'll just click on it. So, that was so annoying. All right, here we go. Sharing the screen. There we go. Okay, we're good now. So, going to the depth chart. If we take a look at the Cardinals, they really lacked in offense. So let's actually take a look at the team stats when it comes to batting last year. It would be really nice if my internet can kind of pick up the pace here a little bit. Oh, you are killing me, internet. What is going on? Is this Fangraphs? All right, whatever. While that's loading, let's take a look at the depth chart. So if we go take a look at what they have in the outfield, you got Tyler O'Neill, you got Lane Thomas, you do got Dylan Carlson, but he's still a rookie. You got Harrison Bader. So you got Dexter Fowler still. So, it's the problem is they just don't have a lot of offense from these guys. So if we take a look here, the Cardinals, looking at just the offense, they got good defense out there. That's not really too much of a problem. So the Cardinals last year, they ranked 20th in offense overall. So if we go take a look at the outfield from last year, looking at just offense, the Cardinals ranked 27th in offense from their outfielders last year. They really need someone. They really need a bat. And I think Jock Pederson, this is a guy that fits with the Cardinals well when it comes to price. If we actually go take a look, I want to take a look real quick at the splits leaderboard. So let's take a look at how they did with left-handed batting. Left-handed hitters versus right-handers. Here we go. Nope, I want team. Okay, so looking at WRC plus. So the Cardinals last year, with overall on their team from left-handed hitters against right-handed pitching, they only ranked 20th. So in WRC plus. And I think Jock Pederson's a guy that he just fits. He can split some time out there and left and right. Give that offense a bit more juice. Hey, Nehawan, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Nehawan Sigran. I did actually have the Nationals on my list at first. I did have him going to the Nationals, but I just like the Cardinals so much better. And if we take a look at the Nationals, they did pretty good when it came to left-handed hitting last year. I mean, Juan Soto's a big reason for that. But, you could have Jock Pederson out and left. He's not going to platoon with Juan Soto. But they already have Andrew Stevenson. So, so I don't know if they're going to bring in Pederson. He wouldn't wouldn't hurt. But I think the Cardinals, I think they need him more. I think ultimately, that's my prediction. I think they're going to realize, all right, we need some more offense. We got to get another bat here. And Jock Pederson has been connected with the Cardinals. Let's actually take a look real quick. I want to see if I did see an article at one point. I did see something. I feel like I saw, hold on. No, I'm more seeing kind of like St. Louis Cardinals bloggers where they think it would be a good fit. So I think it would be a good fit too. Or actually, here we go. What is this? Here we go. So this is I remember reading this. Here we go. So this was back on December 7th, a month ago. Ex-Dodgers outfielder Jock Pederson linked to Cardinals, White Sox, and Brewers. I had Jock Pederson, actually, I forgot to say. I had him going to the White Sox in the beginning of the offseason, but then they got Adam Eaton. So I was on the right track when it came to what they were looking for, but ultimately he went to the White Sox. So here we go. Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic reported Pederson's links to the teams, noting the former Dodgers suitors may fall in line after Marcell Ozuna, who is the most desirable left fielder. So this is just according to Ken Rosenthal. There is a link there. I think the Cardinals, I just think he fits. I don't know what it is. I just see this guy in a Cardinals uniform. I can't really explain it. I just see Jock Pederson wearing that Cardinal white and red. So tell me what you think in the chat. Are you gonna give this a thumbs down or what did I just say? A thumbs up or a thumbs down? Tell me what you think. We're starting to get a little tired here. It's almost my bed. It's way past my bedtime. Mr. Teal with the thumbs down. Bull, Robbie, do you think Matt Shoemaker will sign with the Royals? I think that could be a fit. Totally. Brady Singer? Hey, Brady Singer gave me a couple of solid starts in fantasy. Hey, maybe he has a bit of a breakout year. Luke Cerrone, thoughts on the Red Sox? We stink. We need starting pitching. Goodness. But Chester the Chicken Eater, there he is, vomiting. Someone please hand Chester the Pepto-Bismol. Jimmy Productions, no way JT Realmuto goes to the Cardinals. There's no way. They're not doing that. They're barely bringing back Yadier Molina. So And then they have Kisner as their future catcher. Alrighty, here we go. Moving on to our next prediction. So, all right, we got a little bit to go. Or like I said, we're at like the halfway mark. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to stay with the Cardinals here. You know what? I think the Cardinals, they're going to come to their senses a little bit, and they're going to realize they need to spend a little bit of money because they got some needs on that team. And I know they kind of already can fill this need already, but you know what? Why not? Because I just think it works. I just think it works. I don't know. Tommy La Stella also going to the Cardinals. This guy just looks like a Cardinal. You know, he has really good contact numbers. He just hits the ball. The Cardinals need more offense. They need a guy like this. He can play some second. He can move around the infield. You got Tommy Edman there who can play second. But I think with Tommy La Stella, Wyatt Wheeler, I actually did, thank you for mentioning that. I did say Tommy La Stella was going to go to the Brewers on my first predictions. So maybe I'm thinking too much into it. So let's share my screen. Let's go take a look at Tommy La Stella. Here we go. All right, so Tommy La Stella, this is a guy, he never strikes out. He walks a ton. He makes a lot of contact, a ton of contact. The exit velocity is not great, but the ex-WOBA was good. The ex-slugging was kind of in the middle. The barrel percentage was a bit low. But ultimately, this is a guy that he just makes so much contact. And I think that this would be a guy that just kind of just fits into what the Cardinals are doing. Again, they need more offense, and I think Tommy La Stella, he can move around a little bit. He can play some third over Matt Carpenter on some days. So let's actually take a look at the depth chart in the infield. So Tommy La Stella, he can play all over the place. He can, Tommy Edman, he can move around. Matt Carpenter, he can play there as well. He can play a little short. Paul DeJong needs a day off. I think Tommy La Stella is a guy that would I just think he fits really well with this Cardinals team. Yeah, I'm not going to really get too much into that one. I think the flexibility the Cardinals would benefit from. I think they would like the contact, the consistent contact that he makes a lot. I think that would it just seems like a Cardinal kind of a player, if you ask me. So, AK Vlogs, I appreciate you liking the late night stream. I usually never go this late. So, I'm seeing thumbs up from Michael Yanch. It's a good move, but the Cubs fans would be upset. Oh, I think the Cubs are going to get very upset this offseason about a lot of things. Maybe Michael Brantley could be a Cardinal as well, Chester. That could be possible. So he could definitely fit out there. So absolutely. Whoever gets Brad Miller gets a steal. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of that Brad Miller kind of a player too. So I think Tommy La Stella, I think he fits in to this Cardinals team really well. It's just going to come down to the money. Are the Cardinals going to spend the money? So, I don't know. But here we go. We're just going to move right along. We're going to keep going with these predictions. We're starting to get close to midnight here. So, let's just kind of get going here. Oh, you know what? We're talking all Cardinals right now. We're just right in the St. Louis Cardinals part of these predictions. This player is not, I'm not saying this player is going to the Cardinals, but we know this player as a St. Louis Cardinal. And you know what? I mentioned earlier Andrelton Simmons going to the Athletics, and you know what? Maybe this is me more having some fun, but man, I could see this too. Colton Wong going to the Athletics. Could you imagine an infield with Andrelton Simmons at short and Colton Wong at second? That would be nasty. Tell me that you would not like that. That would be absolutely nasty. I think the Athletics, now that Tommy La Stella, at least on my list, is going to the Cardinals, I think Colton Wong, he just slides right into Oakland. He went to USC. He went to college in California. So maybe there's a bit of a connection there. But ultimately, Andrelton Simmons and Colton Wong would be amazing defensively. And I know the Athletics, they love their defense. But, I mean, you're not going to get too much offense with those two. But the Athletics, they've been one of the better defensive teams in the last few years. So, hey, could you... Oh, my God. Hear me out here. Hear me out. Can you just please hear me out? Can you imagine this infield? Matt Chapman, Andrelton Simmons, Colton Wong, and Matt Olson. Can you imagine that infield? That would be the best infield in baseball. That would be nasty. Dude, I'm just saying. Mr. Teal, my Red Sox were connected to Wong. That's definitely possible as well. I wouldn't mind Colton Wong, honestly. I wouldn't mind. Maybe if it was like a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, but I don't think Chaim Bloom is going to spend. I just don't think he's going to shell out that money. I don't think he's going to cost a lot, but I think I think Chaim Bloom, he likes more of like these guys that can kind of move around, kind of what they did with the Rays. So, Michael Yench, a lot of thumbs up from him. Good move, and Oakland would win the AL West. That would be the most nasty infield ever. Chapman, there would be nothing that would get by that infield. It would be insane. Hey, Wong on the M's could be pretty decent too. So, alrighty, moving along. Colton Wong. Actually, real quick, let me be fair here. Let's go take a look at Colton Wong. So, Colton Wong. Kind of just take a look at what exactly you're getting. All right, so taking a look at the stats. Not Tommy La Stella. Come on, baseball savant. Load up for me. My internet's not being very nice tonight, I'll tell you that. But here we go. As you can see here, you're not going to get too much offense with him. He's not going to strike out a lot. That's another thing the Athletics like. They like guys that don't strike out. He walks a decent amount. He doesn't swing and miss a lot. He makes a lot of contact. So, and of course the fielding. That's the main thing with Colton Wong, a multiple-time Gold Glove winner. So this infield, if he went to the Athletics, this would be nasty. This would be absolutely nasty. So I would love this. Maybe I'm being a bit of a fanboy here just because I'm in. Whoa! Oh my God, that just scared the absolute bejesus out of me. Why are my notifications not popping up on the screen? Philip Beasley, what is going on, my friend? Red Sox Nation. Man, I'm hoping for a good year in 2021, man. Hey, I really appreciate the $5 super chat, my friend. Thank you so much. Hope you're having yourself a good night, my friend. So, James Scott, Wong with Yankee Stadium and lineup protection could hit, to be honest. I mean, Wong that'd be fun. That'd be fun, man. That'd be a lot of fun. I mean, hopefully Gleyber Torres can pick up with the glove. So, alrighty, moving right along, everyone. We're starting to get into the top half of my predictions. We're getting through the fun ones. We're getting to the fun ones. We got a few more here until we start getting to the big names. But here we go. Jackie Bradley Jr. is up next. I actually had Jackie Bradley Jr. going to the Mets in my original predictions, but I have decided to change my mind. I don't think he's coming back to my Red Sox. I think Jackie Bradley Jr. is going to go elsewhere. The Diamondbacks really need a center fielder. They really need a center fielder. They gave up Starling Marte at the trade deadline to the Marlins. I think they need a guy out there. And I think the Diamondbacks are still a team that can be pretty competitive. And I don't know. They've been connected with Jackie Bradley in the past. They were connected with him last offseason and possibly making a trade. And I don't know. There's something about the Diamondbacks with me, with Jackie Bradley, just seeing that the Diamondbacks have been connected with him and the fact that they need a center fielder. I just think this makes a lot of sense. So Jackie Bradley, he actually had himself a pretty good year this year. I'll tell you from experience as a Red Sox fan, I love me some JBJ. It's going to be really sad to see him go. But here we go. Let's take a look at the numbers. All right, so as you can see with him, you're not going to get like a great amount of offense. He's not going to hit the ball very hard. The xWOBA is pretty low. But the big thing with him is the defense. And I think he would fit really well out there. I think that would be a great boost for this Arizona Diamondbacks team. As you can see, the outs above average, he's in the top 1%. And look at the outfielder jump. This is one of the, probably you could make an argument, this is the best defensive center fielder in the game. I don't know. I just think it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit for the Diamondbacks. They need a center fielder. So let's actually go take a look at what the Diamondbacks are working with at the moment. I think at the moment they have Dalton Varsho out in center. But Dalton Varsho's a catcher. So it depends on what they're going to do with Carson Kelly and him. But I don't know. To me, if I have a choice between Varsho and Jackie Bradley Jr., I mean, I'm going to find a way to get Dalton Varsho to play somewhere else. I'm going to put Jackie Bradley out in center field. So I think he would be a really good addition to this team. You got Cole Calhoun out in right. You already got some great defense there as well. And then David Peralta out in left. If David Peralta can stay healthy, Cole Calhoun stays healthy, and you bring in Jackie Bradley for center field, that would be one of the best outfields in the game. That would be a great defensive outfield. So, and then you got Nick Ahmed at short. I mean, this would be a really good defensive team. I mean, hey, Jackie Bradley Jr., I think he fits really well. The Diamondbacks have been connected with Jackie Bradley in the past, so that's my take on that. I think he goes to the Diamondbacks. So here we go. We're going to move right along. Moving along, trying to speed this up just a little bit. Here we go. Next up, I got James Paxton. Never really seemed to settle down with the Yankees. Never really seemed to get it going. He had some success with the Yankees, but ultimately, I think James Paxton is going to move on. I had him going to the Blue Jays on my original predictions, and I'm sticking with it. I think the Blue Jays, they need another arm. And I think James Paxton, he's a Canadian. I think it just works. They need starting pitching. He's not going to cost a ton of money. I don't know. I mean, I know they're going hard after guys like DJ LeMahieu and George Springer right now. But I just think ultimately, I think they need some starting pitching. That's going to be the most important thing. If you look at their starting pitching depth, which I'll pull up for you right now, it's not very deep. And I think James Paxton, sure, he's had some injuries, but I think this just works. So here we go. Let me pull up the depth chart. Okay. If we take a look at the rotation as is, you have Hendriks. You do have Robbie Ray as the lefties. But Robbie Ray, you don't know what you're going to get from Robbie Ray. Trent Thornton had a down year, injury-filled year. Tanner Roark had himself a down year this past year. Nate Pearson, really excited to see what Nate Pearson can do in his career. But ultimately, this is a guy, he hasn't even had a full rookie season yet. A lot of potential with Nate Pearson. But I think ultimately, James Paxton would just fit really well. So I just think they need an arm. It's according to, Scott Boras, from what I've been reading with James Paxton, is that he's healthy. He's going to be good to go. I mean, of course, his agent's going to say that, but James Paxton, I think he's going to be good to go. I think he had a back surgery and he's recovered pretty good from it. So, that's what I think. He's been pitching in the AL East for a little bit now. I think the Yankees are going to move on. So the Blue Jays, they need an arm in that rotation. Why not? James Paxton, he's a Canadian. Hey, let's go to Toronto. I think it would be a good move. Michael Yanks, vomiting everywhere. No one will sign in the NL West because the Padres and the Dodgers will run that division. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're the Diamondbacks, I think you have a shot at maybe getting to a wild card. I think the Diamondbacks have a shot. I'm not going to count out the Diamondbacks. So, but for Paxton, Brett, you think Paxton can go to the Nationals? That's definitely an option. Brandon, the Jays or the Angels? The Angels definitely. I could see the Angels adding him. Bull, do you think James Paxton is going to the Royals? Is that what you're saying? I wonder if he would go to the Royals. I don't think he's going to go to the Royals. Matthew, I feel like he's going to the Mets. I mean, I don't think so now, Matthew, just because they added Carlos Carrasco in the Francisco Lindor trade. That was maybe a possibility before that trade, but now I don't think that's going to happen now. Jimmy, do you think the Nats and the Red Sox could make a trade? The Red Sox, Carter Kieboom. I wouldn't mind Carter Kieboom. I don't think with that. I mean, we got Rafael Devers, so I don't think that's going to work. We're not going to trade Eduardo Rodriguez. Maybe Eduardo Rodriguez, we could trade him at the deadline. That's possible if we're not going to re-sign him. So, alrighty, thoughts on the Phillies. We'll get to some Phillies stuff here in a little bit. I believe I have another player on this list going to the Phillies. But here we go. Moving on to my next prediction. So we just said James Paxton going to the Blue Jays. Next up, we got a picture here. Yankee fans. I hope you're ready. This kind of pained me, man. This gives me a little pain. This makes me sad a little bit. And I wonder, David Knight, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? This might, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what some of you think about this one. I don't know. I've been reading some stuff about this particular picture and the Yankees. There's a connection there. And I'm kind of wondering what Brian Cashman is doing this offseason. And I'm kind of thinking, I feel like he might get this guy. I don't know what it is. It's just like the Yankees. They just seem to rip your heart out, man. They rip your heart out as a Red Sox fan. And I've been wanting this guy this whole offseason. I just feel like it's not going to happen. And I feel like the Yankees are going to get him. Corey Kluber. I don't know what it is. I can't even really explain it. Well, I can explain it, but there's just something about this where I could see Cashman just jumping all over Corey Kluber. You know, I don't know. They need a number 2. I just wonder. I wonder if Cashman takes a chance on him. I wonder if he takes a chance on him. I mean, every team is going to be interested in Corey Kluber. Every team is going to be interested in him. But I think the Yankees, they could offer a few more. And I think they go after him. I think they go for that lightning in a bottle kind of a move. I would love for the Red Sox to get him. But I don't know. I just don't know what the Yankees are doing this offseason. They're just sitting there just so stagnant. They're not making any moves. I can just see Brian Cashman doing this kind of a move. But there is one big reason I have for this. There is one. I'm not just kind of going out on a whim. I'm just saying it. So the Yankees, if you all remember, the Yankees, they've been dealing in 2019. They dealt with a ton of injuries. So to respond to that, they ended up bringing in Eric Cressey. So he is now the head of their, let's share the screen. So now he's the head of like their athletic performance and strength and conditioning. So the Yankees back last offseason, the Yankees hired Eric Cressey to oversee their training and strength and conditioning departments. So funny thing is, so Eric Cressey, if you don't know Eric Cressey, he's a well-renowned strength and conditioning coach. He's been around in just sports, athletics, and strength and conditioning for years now. So, and if we actually go down here, if we take a look at this picture, Corey Kluber trains with Eric Cressey. There is a connection here. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just saying, but this kind of a move I could see because Corey Kluber at the end of the day is a high reward, kind of a low risk sort of a move. I think he's going to cost you a little bit. I think you could get him on like a 1-year deal for like $12 million or something like that. But I could see the Yankees doing that kind of a move, at least just going for it. I don't know. I don't know what the Yankees are doing right now. They have let Yu Darvish just go. They're not going after, it doesn't seem like they're going after, top line starting pitching. I think this is kind of a move where it's kind of like that middle of the, a happy medium kind of a move where Corey Kluber has the potential to be a frontline guy, to be a number 2 with a Garrett Cole. Just based off of what Corey Kluber's done in his career. And he's not going to cost a lot of money. It's not going to be a big commitment. And I think the Yankees, they're in, I don't know. I just think he has this connection with Eric Cressey. Eric Cressey is now the strength and conditioning guy for the Yankees. Corey Kluber, he goes to the Cressey Performance Training Centers all the time. I mean, I don't know. I think with Corey Kluber, I think one big thing, I don't know him, obviously, but I would imagine Corey Kluber, the one thing he's really going to pay attention to this upcoming season and for the rest of his career, but I think ultimately, the one big thing that he's going to care about is his health. And I think if you have Eric Cressey, the guy you've been training with now for a long time, I just think it makes sense. I don't know. It's just me. But I don't know. I hope he goes to the Red Sox. I could see Kluber going to some other teams. I could honestly see Corey Kluber maybe going to the Blue Jays. Mark Shapiro now is with Toronto. So, and Mark Shapiro was the one to make that trade for, let me come back to you. he was the one to make that trade for Corey Kluber. Who did they give up for Corey Kluber again? Who was it? It was, Jake Westbrook. That was it. Wow, I can't believe I remembered that name. Oh, it's Saturday. Look at that. But yeah, they made the Jake Westbrook trade a long time ago, and they brought back Corey Kluber in that trade. So they got extremely lucky with that. But Mark Shapiro was the guy to make that trade. So now Mark Shapiro is with the Blue Jays. So maybe the Blue Jays really go hard after him. That's a possibility. I could see a team like the Twins maybe going after him. Because the Twins, I mean, hey, they could use an ace kind of a guy, but they don't ever really want to spend a ton of money. So, I mean, you got some kind of a connection there. The Red Sox, the obvious connection with Corey Kluber is Corey Kluber lives in Massachusetts in the offseason. So there is that connection too. So I really just think it's going to come down to where Corey Kluber, where he thinks is a good fit for his health. And I think ultimately, because Corey Kluber, he's getting to the end of his career now. He's had some injuries in the last couple of years. Yeah, he had a fluke broken arm. You know, he got hit with a ball and his arm was broken. But then he had a shoulder problem last year. But it seems like he's past that now. So he basically had a whole year off. So Corey Kluber, I would imagine, is going to be pretty good for next year. So I don't know. I just think there's something about it. I just wonder. It just seems like a Brian Cashman kind of a move. So that's what I got for Corey Kluber. Here we go. Moving along. Here we go. Next up, Michael Brantley. Michael Brantley. He's been with the Astros for a little bit. I had Michael Brantley going back to the Astros on my original list. But here, I have him going to the Nationals. I feel like this makes sense. I think the Nationals, they have really been starving for an on-base kind of a guy since Anthony Rendon left. I don't think Michael Brantley is going to cost a lot of money. The Nationals, doesn't seem like lately they want to spend a lot of money. I think Michael Brantley could make some sense. They could use him out in left. They do have Andrew Stevenson, but they are going to be moving Juan Soto out to right. I don't know. I just think this makes some kind of sense. He's an on-base guy. He makes a lot of contact. I think he would pick up this Nationals offense really well. So, but ultimately, I just don't think he's going to cost you a lot of money. And I think the Nationals, that kind of fits into what they're doing. So, whoops, here we go. All right, so let's go to Michael Brantley. The only thing with Michael Brantley is he's been having some injuries in the last couple of years. He has trouble staying healthy. So that's why I did actually I had him staying with the Astros, and I actually wanted to stick with that. And, you know, I think ultimately there's a very good chance he stays with the Astros. I actually read something recently. We'll get to that here in a second, but there was something that made me think that maybe he does end up staying with the Astros. But, hey, you know what? I'm trying to have some fun here. So, Michael Brantley, here we go. Let's share the screen. So as you can see here with Michael Brantley, he doesn't strike out a lot. He's going to walk a decent amount. I mean, the batting average is good. The xWOBA's in the middle of the pack. He's going to have some decent velocity. He's going to give you some kind of average. He's going to give you some power, but he's going to give you on base. And I think that's what the Nationals really need. So, the Nationals really need some on base. And they do have Andrew Stevenson. I understand that. But Michael Brantley, he's a proven guy. You know, I don't know. I like Michael Brantley a lot. I could definitely see the Nationals not doing this, but you know what? I'm trying to have some fun. So Michael Brantley, I think, would be a really good fit. But if you could take a look a little further, what was I looking at? All right, so if you take a look here, I mean, if you take a look at how he's ranked when it comes to xWOBA, he's ranked really well. Batting average, he's ranked really well. He doesn't strike out a lot. I think this is the kind of bat that the Nationals need. Ever since they lost Anthony Rendon, he's not going to be an Anthony Rendon, but you're going to get a good amount of on-base percentage with Michael Brantley if he stays healthy. So, hey, they could use another guy in that outfield, left field. He could fit well. It just depends. Are they going to stick with Andrew Stevenson? Or could they go elsewhere in free agency? So JH Sports with a lot of vomiting at the moment. Banana is not liking this. Oh, man. David Knight. So, yeah, you're the perfect person to ask about this. So you seem like you're okay with the move. I do like Andrew Stevenson. If we actually pull up Andrew Stevenson. I had him on my fantasy team towards the end of the season, and he gave me some good production, so I was pretty happy about that. But Andrew Stevenson, he's only 26 years old. I mean, he did really well. It was over a very small sample size. 41 at bats. He hit 366. That's really good. He had an OPS of 1.179. That's really good. But before that, I mean, he just hasn't really had much of a track record. He just hasn't. I don't know. Are the National, like, are they confident in this guy, or like what is it? Like, I don't know. So how many games did he? He only played 15 games this year, which is kind of weird. Was he hurt this year? Because it's like they weren't very good this year, so I figured they would give him a lot of playing time. He's definitely got some speed. So I don't know. It just depends on what they want to do. I don't know. Do they want to try? I think if they really want to get back to being a competitive team, you bring in a guy like Michael Brantley. If you want to, kind of start grooming the future a little bit, start playing Andrew Stevenson. Start getting him out there. So that's what I think. But here we go. Moving on. We're just going to keep moving right along. We're well into Saturday morning now. But we're still very strong right now. 146 people in the chat. You guys are fantastic. Wow. Thank you for coming out tonight. Hey, if you are new, kind of figuring out what the heck is going on here, we're talking baseball all the time. Hit that subscribe button if you are looking for more baseball news and more baseball content. And also, let's check on the likes. 127 likes. You guys are awesome. Hey, let's try and get to 200 likes by the end of the night. So we're getting into the top 10. Here we go. Alrighty, I could talk about my Red Sox here. I think the Red Sox are going to make this move. I kind of thought maybe it was possible in the beginning of the offseason. I didn't know if Chaim Bloom was going to spend the money. But the Red Sox, they have been showing some serious interest lately with this guy. Kind of makes sense. He's been connected with Chaim Bloom, and that's Jake Odorizzi. I think Boston could be his new home. But I'm not going to be surprised if he doesn't go to Boston. Because, I don't know, until Chaim Bloom spends some money, then I can't believe it's going to happen. But Chaim Bloom has not shown me that he can spend money. So, but according to reports, the Red Sox, they have been on the lookout. Well, they definitely need starting pitching. First off, they definitely need starting pitching. Let's pull this up here. Okay, so if we go take a look at starting pitching, let's share the screen. Taking a look at last year's rankings, the Red Sox were absolutely terrible with starting pitching. They were dead last in overall with both starters and relievers. If we take a look at starters, the Red Sox, I believe, were second to last. The Tigers were dead last. The Red Sox were second to last. They need starting pitching. They really need starting pitching. That's an obvious need. Jake Odorizzi, he's not going to cost a lot of money. He's a third or fourth arm in the rotation. I don't think he's going to be this, transcendent kind of a guy. But I think he can give you some depth. He had some injury problems last year. But Jake Odorizzi, I think, would be a really solid arm for this rotation. I would not hate this at all. But yeah, it's, where did I read? Hold on one second. Here we go. So this is according to Mike Feinsand on MLB.com. So the Red Sox have serious interest in right-hander Jake Odorizzi. Chaim Bloom was part of the Rays front office when Tampa Bay acquired Odorizzi in 2012. So they have that familiarity. So, I don't know. It just seems to make a lot of sense. It would make some sense. I think the Red Sox need some starting pitching. So, and they're showing serious interest. They need, if you think about it, that rotation, if Odorizzi can stay healthy, if everyone can come back healthy next year, if you get Chris Sale back by July or so, maybe August, and you're going down the stretch, and if Chris Sale is effective when he comes back, you would have a rotation. Let's come back here. You would have a rotation of Chris Sale, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jake Odorizzi, Nathan Eovaldi. You got Nick Pivetta. You got Tanner Houck. You got Connor Siebold down there. You got Brian Mata down there. Then the Red Sox, you're actually looking okay at that point. Starting the season, you would have a rotation of Eduardo Rodriguez, Nathan Eovaldi, Jake Odorizzi, Tanner Houck, and Nick Pivetta. So that's not bad. I mean, of course, the Red Sox, they really lacked just like that front, that top of the rotation guy last year. Nathan Eovaldi, he's not a top of the rotation guy. I love me some Nathan Eovaldi. I love Nasty Nate, but he's not that number one guy. Eduardo Rodriguez, he's not even that number one guy. Chris Sale is that number one guy. So I think Odorizzi, hold on a second. Here we go. So Odorizzi is definitely, I think, a good option for, to be a 3 or a 4 in the rotation. So that's my prediction. I had Odorizzi going to the Giants in my original predictions. I think the Giants could still make a move for him. The Giants need starting pitching. I think they need more left-handed starting pitching. I think Odorizzi would actually be a really good fit in AT&T Park. So, or what is it called now? It's called Oracle Stadium, I think. But ultimately, Jake Odorizzi, I think he goes to the Red Sox. So here we go. Moving on, I believe now we are in the top 10. We are in the top 10. Up next, Justin Turner. Justin Turner, he had everything going on with the whole COVID thing in the World Series. It was sad to see that we just couldn't even celebrate the World Series. And it seemed like all ESPN wanted to talk about was just the mask stuff. So, I don't know, whatever. But Justin Turner, unfortunately, was the center of that. And, but where is he going to go? Is he going to go back to the Dodgers? He's now 36 years old. Reports are recently that he's looking for a 4-year deal. A 36-year-old player has never received a 4-year deal. Has never happened. So Justin Turner, he's trying to be the first guy to get a 4-year deal at 36 years old. Unfortunately, he is probably not going to get that. So Justin Turner, now is he going to go back to the Dodgers? I don't know. I feel like the Dodgers, he definitely could go back for a couple of years. But I almost get this feeling like the Dodgers are almost kind of ready to move on a little bit. They got some other players that are starting to come up now. And Justin Turner, I don't know. I don't think they want to spend the money for him. And I think another team, you've been hearing this team all over the place this offseason. I think he would be a good fit. And he was on my original predictions. Justin Turner going to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays need a third baseman. Travis Shaw's out of there. They need a third baseman. They could use a veteran guy like Justin Turner. Absolutely could use a Justin Turner. I think he would be a fantastic fit. He would fit perfectly there. But one other reason why I think Justin Turner would be a good fit in Toronto would be because it's the American League, the National League. They're not going to have the designated hitter, it's looking like, which I think is ridiculous. I think you should have the designated hitter. So you see why, like, this kind of having the designated hitter throughout the league is only going to help these guys get more opportunities. I don't understand that. I get it if you like the strategy and whatnot, but I personally don't think pitchers should hit. I want to see more offense. I want to see these guys. I want, Justin Turner, if they had the designated hitter still, you could see Justin Turner easily going back to the Dodgers. But I think ultimately the Blue Jays, they need a third baseman. They could use more veteran leadership. They have a designated hitter. So, or at least they can shuffle Justin Turner around. He has been dealing with some health issues in the last couple of years with his lower body. Give Justin Turner some time off from the field. Have him be the designated hitter on some days. I think it would be a great fit. So, Justin Turner to the Blue Jays. I'm seeing some thumbs ups. I'm seeing some vomiting. A chair. I love that name. I love that name. Yeah, David Knight, the DH, it's like just make it happen. Just make it happen. Chester is also vomiting. He does not like this move. That's okay. Phantom, you don't think this is happening. A chair, again, with the sunglasses face. All righty. So, Mr. Met, sorry, I thought I said Matt. Look at that picture of Mr. Met just hanging out. But, yeah, ultimately, I could see this as well. And the Blue Jays have been linked to Justin Turner this offseason. There have been some articles that have suggested this as well. So, and just Toronto is just that contract that he's probably going to want. I could see Toronto giving him a 3-year deal. I could definitely see Toronto giving him a 3-year deal. You know why? Because Toronto, they're trying to make some moves. They're trying to get into contention. So I think Justin Turner would be a good bat in Toronto. Here we go. Moving on. Up next, this is going to be a quick one. Going to be very quick. This guy had a nasty season last year. A very good season. He's been good for a few years now, and that's Nelson Cruz. I think ultimately he goes back to the Twins. I don't think there's really too much to say here, but I just want to take a look at Nelson Cruz's stats. He has been putting up some awesome numbers over the last few years. Here we go. Nelson Cruz. But I think the Twins and him, I think it's just a match made in heaven. I think this is a fair move. I just feel like the Twins losing him would just not help them at all, obviously. But then it's like, where else is he going to go? There's not really any other team. What is he going to go to? The Rangers? The Mariners? He doesn't really, if you want to stay with a competitive team, the Twins right now are kind of that team to stay with. I just don't see really where else he goes. Maybe Toronto. You could maybe see him going to the Blue Jays. But I just think he's enjoyed his time with the Twins. I think ultimately he ends up staying. So you could maybe see Toronto. That would be insane. If he went to Toronto, that bat and that lineup. Oh boy. Here we go. So let's share the screen. So Nelson Cruz. Here we go. So if you take a look at the numbers, for the last few years, this guy has just been insane. So I know they're averaging in the 16 home runs. So that's what I hate about this, because it's bringing the average down. I wish Baseball Reference would kind of do something with this, because that's just bringing the full average down. So he's definitely averaging more than 31 home runs. So if you actually take a look, let's just look at 2018, 2019. So over those 2 years, he averaged 39 home runs, 102 RBIs, hitting 282, OPS of 935. Man, now that I said the Blue Jays out loud, man, could he go to the Blue Jays? That'd be insane. I kind of want it to happen. The more I think about it, as a Red Sox fan, I don't want it to happen. But I don't know. I think ultimately, he just goes back to the Twins. I think this is just a good move for both sides. So I'm seeing a lot of thumbs ups in the chat on that. So let's move on. Here we go. We're really getting into the juicy ones now. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 more. Here we go. Next up, Didi Gregorius. This one I think might turn some heads. I think some of you are going to disagree with this one. Didi Gregorius staying with the Twins. We're going to stay with the Twins here. I think Didi Gregorius goes to the Twins. I don't know what it is. I can see him in that uniform. I think the Twins, they need an upgrade at shortstop. And according to reports, they have been looking for an upgrade at shortstop. They have been looking for an upgrade. So let's actually pull up the report that I was reading. All right. So according to this, over the past couple of weeks, it has been rumored that the Twins are acting as a shark circling blood in the water, waiting for an opportunity to make a big move like they did last offseason. It's been anyone's guess as to what that may be. Today, it was reported that the move could come up the middle. So, Ken Rosenthal reported today that Minnesota is considering moving Luis Arias and shifting Jorge Polanco to second. The question then becomes, who plays short? So they do have Royce Lewis down in the minor leagues. He's their top free agent. He's their top prospect. But he needs, I think, a little more time in the minors. He had a down year in 2019. I think he needs more time in the minor leagues. So I think ultimately, I think Didi Gregorius would be a great fit. A great fit. I believe, if I'm actually thinking about it, let me actually look at the Twins, Astros. I want to look at that, the box score. I want to take a look at their lineup. So, wait, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Come on. I feel like most of their lineup is right-handed hitters. Is that true? I'm not too familiar with the Twins lineup, like top to bottom. I feel like most of these guys bat right. Where is it? What does it say here? They don't say if they're. I've seen this lineup on MLB, like on MLB.com. Why? I don't want the FAQ. I just want. Here we go. Twins lineup. Do they have any left-handed bats? Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's actually pull up DD. Okay. All right. So you'd get a left-handed bat. I believe that they don't have like any left-handed bats. Oh, come on. What the? Was it when did they play? Oh, I'm going to lose my mind. When was this game? What was the date? It was... I'm having so much trouble. Was it the... Oh, was it the end of September? Hold on. There we go. God, that was driving me nuts. Sorry, everyone. Okay, they got Eddie Rosario. All right, never mind. No, they do got some left-handed bats. They got Arias and Kepler. And they got Rosario. And they do got... Okay, never mind. I take that back. They got Kirilloff. Or Kirilloff, sorry. But I think ultimately, I mean, Polanco... I mean, he is a switch hitter. So, I don't know. I just think Didi, I think they need something with this offense. I mean, ultimately, I think the Twins, I think they just really would benefit from just an ace starting pitcher. They need that kind of a guy. But, I don't know. I just think with this lineup, they kind of just, it wasn't flowing very much. And I think Didi's a really good player, man. He's good for the clubhouse. I think he would be a really good fit. So, that's what I have here. Didi Gregorius going to the Twins based off of those reports that the Twins, they're looking to make an upgrade at shortstop. So, I don't think Didi's going to cost you a ton of money. So, we'll have to see how that goes. But, here we go. Moving on. Here we go. We're going to talk a little Masahiro Tanaka. I'm starting to get tired, everyone. We are 152 people in here. You guys are awesome for hanging out. So, if any of you are new, haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. As you can see, we're talking baseball here pretty much all the time. I'm getting tired. Here we go. We're going to move through this. Tanaka. Going back to the Yankees, I don't see Tanaka just going anywhere else. I just don't see him going anywhere else. I just don't. I don't know what it is. I can't see Tanaka in another uniform. Is that just me? I've read these things about Tanaka going back to Japan. That would be insane. If he went back to Japan, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. I think that's a leverage kind of a move. I think that's just his agent saying, all right, well, we're going to go back to Japan. So I think that's his agent trying to get something going in the market. I think that's just a negotiation tactic. I think he just goes back to the Yankees. The Yankees, I think they both benefit. The Yankees need starting pitching. Tanaka, I just think he's a Yankee. When you just think of Yankees, I think of Tanaka. I can't see Tanaka going to like the Angels. I can't see Tanaka going to the Giants. Masahiro Tanaka is a New York Yankee. I'm just saying, I don't know what it is. So Yeah, David Knight, I personally just don't think he's going to go back to Japan. I don't think he's going to pull a Hiroki Kuroda. I think Tanaka, this is a guy that, I mean, he still has a lot left to give in the major leagues. I think ultimately, I don't see him going back to Japan. I think the Yankees will bring him back because the Yankees ultimately, they need starting pitching. So they need more of like a number 2 guy. I think Tanaka is, more of like a 3. He's a guy you would love to have in the postseason, but I don't think he's like that number 2 guy. But if you look at the rotation as is, you got Garrett Cole and then just everyone else. Jordan Montgomery, Davy Garcia, Michael King, Domingo Germán will be coming back. You do got Luis Severino coming back. You can't bank on these guys. You cannot bank on these guys. I'm sorry, that's just not good business. It's not. You don't do that. You don't know what you're going to get out of Severino. You went down with Tommy John. Most likely he's going to be fine, but still, Domingo Germán, he's been gone for this whole year. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Jordan Montgomery, he's solid. They got Davy Garcia. I just think Tanaka, you got to bring Tanaka back. You know what you're getting with Tanaka. You're going to get innings from him. You're going to get a competitive game every single time. I think the Yankees find a way to bring Tanaka back. And he did it. He had a pretty good year last year. So let's actually take a look here. Looking at the stats, Tanaka was okay. He's been pretty good now. He's been pretty solid for a while. So going back for the last few years, overall, he has an ERA of 4.06. The FIP is a 4.18. Hey, that's fine. He gets a good amount of strikeouts. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs. He gets a decent, Tanaka is going to give you a chance to win every single time out. Every single time. So if Tanaka just stays healthy, then I think you bring him back. I just don't see how you just let him go back to Japan. I don't see that happening. I think the Yankees will find a way to bring him back. So here we go. Moving on. Let's go. We're getting closer now to the top 3. So we got a few more. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we're at number 6. Here we go. We're about to get into the top 5. This one might come as a surprise here at number 6. I think some of you might find this to be a little interesting. I don't know what it is. I just think I could see this team maybe giving this guy a chance, like a 1 or 2 year deal. We did talk about him a little earlier in the beginning of this stream. I don't know. I think this player could ultimately go to a lot of teams. I think there's a lot of different teams he could play for, but I don't know what it is. I just see this team kind of be like this weird out of the box signing. And I think this is the kind of player that you're going to see it. I think Marcus Semien goes to the Orioles. I just think the Orioles, they need a shortstop. I think the Orioles are trying to make some kind of noise this offseason. They're probably not going to compete. But I think, you know what? They just had Jose Iglesias go elsewhere. And, it's I think this is going to be one of these weird out of the box signings. I don't know. I did pick the Reds. But the Reds, I don't know what the heck they want to do. They don't want to spend any kind of money. So I could definitely see him going back to the A's. But these are my predictions. And I had Andrelton Simmons going to the A's. I just think the Orioles, they'll be like, hey, you know what? Hey, come play for us a little bit. We'll give you I could see him going here on like a 1 year deal or something. Because I just wonder if Oakland is even going to want to bring him back on a 1 year deal. Because I think he's going to definitely command more than I think he's going to command definitely more than $10 million. And I just wonder if the A's are going to want to spend that. I don't know. I don't see the A's spending all that money. But even if it's for only 1 year, I don't see them doing it. But I could see a team like the Orioles where they're like, okay, here, come play for us. I don't know. It's kind of just like a wacky out of the box signing. Because I don't see the Reds bringing him in. I did in the beginning. I saw the Reds bringing him in. But now they're not going to want to spend money. The Angels got a shortstop. Maybe the Twins. Now that I'm thinking about it out loud, maybe the Twins. That could be possible. I could definitely see Marcus Semien with the Twins. If the Yankees end up not getting DJ LeMahieu, then you could have Torres slide over to second and then maybe bring in Marcus Semien. So there's a lot of possibilities for Marcus Semien. There's so many different things. I'm just going to go with the out of the box kind of a prediction. So here we go. Let's go to my screen. Let's take a look at Mr. Marcus Semien. He had an awesome year in 2019. Look at the year that he had in 2019. Finished third in MVP voting, hit 285, 33 home runs, 92 RBIs, had an 892 OPS. This guy's fielding was really good. This guy was off the charts. If you take a look at his wins above replacement in 2019 on Baseball Reference, overall, he had an 8.9 wins above replacement. This is one of the top players in the league in 2019. However, 2020, he really struggled. Only hit 223. Only had a 679 OPS. Had a few home runs. But overall, Marcus Semien did not have the kind of a year, even though it was only 53 games. He did not put up the numbers that you really wanted to put up. And but he did start to heat up in the playoffs. I believe he hit over 400 in the playoffs against the White Sox. So I think Marcus Semien, I think he's going to get some kind of an oddball kind of a deal. Like he's just going to go to just this weird random team. So I'm going to pick the Orioles. Here we go. Moving on. Here we go. We're going to get into the top 5 now. Here we go. Let's try and stretch a little bit. Okay. Whew. We have been going at this for a while. How long are we at? Really? We're only at an hour and 13 minutes. I feel like we've been here for like 3 hours. I feel like I have just not stopped talking. Here we go. Top 5. Marcell Ozuna coming in at number 5. I have a fun one here. If this happens, this team is going to be nasty. The Chicago White Sox. Let's have Marcell Ozuna go to the White Sox. Let's have the White Sox just strengthen up a strength. Why not? And here's why I have him going to the White Sox. Of course, I would love for Marcell Ozuna to go to the Braves, to go back to the Braves. The only problem that I'm having. Oh, David, does it say 2 hours? It says on my screen an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know why. Anyway, but so here we go. Marcell Ozuna, I would love for this guy to go back to the Braves. Really would. The only problem I'm having is Marcell Ozuna is not a left fielder. This guy is strictly a designated hitter, and he can play some outfield when a guy needs a day off. I just and play left field. Like Marcell Ozuna is not good out there defensively. Go to the White Sox, he can be their designated hitter. He can play some left field on some days. I don't think the Braves are going to bring him back. I can't see it. I just don't see it because the defense. I don't know. And the Braves, I don't think they're going to spend that money. The Braves never spend money. Marcell Ozuna is going to want like 18 to 20 million. I don't think the Braves are going to do it. I just don't. But I could see the White Sox doing it. Why not? The White Sox had one of the best offenses last year. Let's take a look kind of at where they ranked. So you can have Jose Abreu play first, and then I understand they got Andrew Vaughn, a top prospect who could be ready in the next year or two. But Marcell Ozuna, man, if you can add that kind of a bat to this offense, I think the White Sox are going for it. And so, man, this bat in this lineup would only benefit them. They were 6th last year in offense. Dude, this White Sox offense would be insane. If you just take a look at the bats. I mean, you got Jose Abreu, who just won the MVP. You got Tim Anderson. You got Grandal. They're not going to have James McCann now, but that's okay. You got Luis Robert, however you want to pronounce it. You got Yohan Moncada. You got Eloy Jimenez. Oh, my God. Marcell Ozuna in this lineup would be insane. Why not? If you're the White Sox, this is a strength. Strengthen a strength. Keep going with your strengths. Play to your strengths. You got Lance Lynn. Great move. But this offense would be insane. If you want to give a run and go for a run in the American League, get Marcell Ozuna. He would be absolutely insane with this offense. I just don't see where else he could go to the Blue Jays. I definitely could see Marcell Ozuna go to the Blue Jays because again, they have a spot where he could be the DH, and he can also play some outfield on some days. So I don't know. I just think if you're the White Sox, you're going for it, right? You're going for it, so go for it. Like, go bring this guy in. Your offense would be almost impossible to pitch to. It'd be impossible. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Marcell Ozuna, I have him going to the Chicago White Sox. Here we go. Number 4. At number 4, DJ LeMahieu. And I'm going to be honest with you. This to me is the hardest one. Out of all of these guys, DJ LeMahieu is the hardest one for me. And there's only really like a few teams. But it's so difficult because I don't know what the Yankees are doing. The Blue Jays are aggressive. The Mets are aggressive. I don't know what's happening. So this was really hard for me to pick. So I just stuck to my original prediction. DJ LeMahieu going back to the Yankees. I just think I'm not totally in favor of this, and that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy, but with the money that he wants, I believe he wants 5 years, and I think the Yankees only want to go 4. So I just wonder. Oh, sorry, and the Dodgers too. The Dodgers have been really linked to DJ LeMahieu, but I just wonder. I don't know. Hold on, let me come back to you. Okay, so DJ LeMahieu, this is a guy with the Yankees. He's been one of their best players over the last couple of years. He was a complete surprise. No one thought DJ LeMahieu was going to be this good with the Yankees, but he has been one of their best players. He's been able to move all around the infield. He has been like the saving grace for this Yankees team. But ultimately, the Dodgers, they want a right-handed bat, and they want a guy for the infield, especially if they're not going to bring back Justin Turner. So the Dodgers are hot for DJ LeMahieu. I just don't. But if they bring in DJ LeMahieu, the only problem with that is they're going to go over the luxury tax. Are they going to want to go over the luxury tax? That's the only problem that I have. When I think of Andrew Friedman, I just wonder if he's going to want to go over the luxury tax. I know they have money for days, but it's just not a really smart move. And they're also going to have to give up a draft pick because the Yankees offered him the qualifying offer. So, yeah, Banana, what about Hendriks? Where is Hendriks? Did I have Hendriks on this list? Oh, I think I forgot to put him in. I'll pull it up. I definitely have it because I made the little picture thing. I'll do Hendriks next. Dang, I can't believe I forgot Hendriks. Anyway, but with DJ LeMahieu, I just think he goes back to the Yankees. The Cashman has been outspoken. You never hear Cashman come out and say, yeah, we really want to bring this guy back. You never hear that. So the fact that he's saying that, I really, really wanted to pick the Blue Jays here. I did. I really did. I think DJ LeMahieu would be an awesome fit with the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays would really love to have him. Funny enough, with the Blue Jays, this is kind of one of the things I was sort of making a bit of a connection. I saw a report where the Blue Jays had offered George Springer 5 years for $115 million. Okay, that's not going to get it done for a George Springer. But that sounds like DJ LeMahieu kind of money. I'm just saying, I don't know. I could definitely see DJ LeMahieu as a Blue Jay. I really could. He would fit so well with that offense. What a horrible move that would be for the Yankees. If he went to the Blue Jays, that would be devastating for the Yankees. But ultimately, I just think based off of what Cashman has said, he really wants LeMahieu back. And I guess they're playing the waiting game right now with LeMahieu. Is that going to burn them in the end? I don't know. I think ultimately, the Yankees, they're kind of thinking, you know what? We have the leverage here. We don't think these other teams are going to offer him all this money. And I just think the Yankees, they're just waiting for him. They're just waiting for him. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I really could see him going to the Blue Jays. I don't see him going to the Dodgers because I don't think the Dodgers are going to want to go over that luxury tax. Unless the Dodgers are like full blown like, all right, let's go win another World Series. So, but they also got I mean, you know, you got a lot of young guys coming there as well, or coming up there in LA as well. I mean, you got Gavin Lux. What's going to happen with him? Are you going to stick with him? They have options. They have Edwin Rios who can play third. It's going to be interesting to see what the Dodgers end up doing. I just feel like I'm not going to see them go over the luxury tax. So that's just where I'm at a little bit with that. So I think just ultimately I'm going to stay safe with this one, and I'm going to have DJ LeMahieu just go back to the Yankees. I just think, I don't know, it's worked out, and I just think in the end they'll just find a way to come back together. So real quick, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can. Okay, sorry about that. I want to see real quick where is the Liam Hendriks one? Why did that not? I could have sworn I put that up. Here we go. All right, so I did not make, hold on. Let me pull this up. We're going to talk Liam Hendriks next. I'm still here. Sorry, everyone. Okay, I can't add a scene. Okay, I'm just going to have to pull up the picture here. Here we go. Up next, Liam Hendriks. Okay, again, sorry everyone. I forgot to include this in the software that I use. So, Liam Hendriks. This one I think some of you could think is a bit out of the box. But here we go. Hold on. Let's share. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Liam Hendriks. This guy, I would love Liam Hendriks. If I were whatever team you're a fan of, Liam Hendriks going to the back end of that bullpen of any team would be nasty. I love Liam Hendriks. This dude has just been straight nasty for a few years now. And ultimately, I think this is kind of based off of, again, a team that's being aggressive, and this is based off of a team that he's familiar with, and based off of recent reports. So, ultimately, I think he's going to go to the Blue Jays. He's going to go back to the Blue Jays. Liam Hendriks, they really could use an arm at the back end of that rotation. It's time to go back to the Blue Jays. It's time to help carry the Blue Jays to the playoffs. What an arm this would be at the back end of that bullpen. He just visited the Blue Jays spring training complex recently. So this would be an insane move. An absolutely insane move. I mean, come on, you know? Hold on. Let's actually pull up some stats here. And let's actually take a look real quick at the Blue Jays depth chart. Wow, we're up to 176 people in this chat. It is 12:51 in the morning right now, and I am tired. But you guys are doing awesome, man. Thank you for coming out tonight. Here we go. So taking a look at the depth chart, if we take a look at this bullpen, you don't got a lot of arms that really stick out. You had some arms that did pretty good. You had Jordan Romano who did pretty good. You got Anthony Kay. He's more of a starter to me. I mean, you had Rafael Dolis who did okay. Shun Yamaguchi struggled last year. I mean, Ross Stripling, he could end up being a pretty good arm for that bullpen. I really liked him on the Dodgers. But overall, I think Liam Hendriks for this bullpen would be insane. He was really good with the Blue Jays when he was there. Hold on. Let's actually pull up some Liam Hendriks stats. So we saw Liam Hendriks with Toronto in 2015. He did really good. He threw 58 games, a 2.92 ERA, about 10 strikeouts per 9, and then he went to Oakland. He was more of one of the setup guys for them. And then over the last couple of years, he's taken over the closer role, and he has just dominated. Absolutely dominated. He finished 9th in Cy Young this past year. I mean, I think he goes back to Toronto. He's going to be their closer. They need a back-end guy. They need another starting pitcher. But I think the Blue Jays, you're seeing their name everywhere right now. They're very aggressive. But this was also based off of the report that he just visited their spring training complex. So let's actually take a look at this report. So as it says here, when Liam Hendriks visited the Toronto Blue Jays complex on Monday, it seemed to come out of the blue considering the club's pursuit of position player stars George Springer and DJ LeMahieu, as well as holes in their rotation. I mean, the fact that he's visiting their complex, I mean, that to me, I think there's some seriousness going on right there. I think there's something between both sides. Why would he go and visit their spring training complex? So no one would dispute that Hendriks has a lot to offer the Blue Jays. He's been the best reliever in the game by wins above replacement over the last 2 years, and there's no other bullpen difference maker of his like him available in free agency. So no Blue Jays fans would be disappointed with Liam Hendriks and the Blue Jays reuniting. So that's what I think. I think he would be awesome with the Blue Jays. So that's my prediction for Liam Hendriks. Thank you so much for bringing that up in the chat. I was kind of wondering, I'm like, I haven't seen Liam Hendriks on this list. There's so many players on this list. Anyway, I probably went a little too much with the players, but you guys have been awesome. You've been trucking this whole time. We're at 161 people. Thank you so much again for coming out. Again, we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by opening day. So if you have not subscribed and you are looking for more baseball news, think about hitting that subscribe button. We're talking baseball all the time. So moving on, we're down to our top three. JT Realmuto is up next. This is one of the more interesting ones in this entire free agent class because a lot of people thought he was going to go to the Mets. The Mets got Steve Cohen. Everyone thought the Mets were going to get everyone and their mother. However, they brought in James McCann, so JT Realmuto, no longer an option for the Mets. There's a possibility maybe he can go to the Angels. The Blue Jays have been tied to him a little bit. The Nationals have even been tied to him a little bit. But ultimately, he's going to go back to the Phillies. I don't see JT Realmuto going anywhere else. And I understand people are going to say they don't have the money. I get it. But you know what? I think they have the money. They have the money. They're going to bring this guy back. If you don't bring this guy back, like, what are you doing? This is one of your franchise guys. You traded Sixto Sanchez for this guy. You traded one of your top pitching prospects for this guy. I'm sorry, but there's no reason to not bring this guy back. When I was reading all this stuff in the beginning of the offseason with JT Realmuto, saying that the Phillies weren't going to be able to afford him and blah, 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 and whatever, I just said, nah, that's baloney. Because this is a guy, it's a perfect fit. There's really not, sure, he can go to the Angels, but the Angels are looking for pitching. Sure, he can go to the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays are also looking for starting pitching and bullpen help, maybe an infielder, but they already have Danny Jansen at catcher. He doesn't cost really anything. The Nationals, they have Yan Gomes, and the Nationals probably don't want to spend the money for JT Realmuto. I just don't see him going anywhere. I think the Phillies are just ultimately the best option. So that's what I think. I think JT Realmuto, this is a guy, and it's not like you can just go get, this is JT Realmuto you're talking about. This is the best catcher in the game. You got to bring this guy back. He's best friends with Bryce Harper. He's great in the clubhouse. He's one of your clubhouse leaders. You got to bring this guy back. I mean, the Phillies, you would take such a step back if you let him go. That would be terrible. I think he goes back to the Phillies. I just don't see him going anywhere else. Here we go. Number two, George Springer. This, I actually was in last night's stream. I had a very easy time with this, but then I kind of thought about it today, and I'm thinking, I don't know. George Springer, it's down basically to two teams. It's down to the Mets, and it's down to the Blue Jays. Don't see him really going anywhere else unless the Astros decide at the last second to be like, whoa, hold on, Mr. Georgie. Hold on a second. Let's break some bread. Let's talk contract. I could maybe see the Astros do that. They've been holding out. They've been basically, from what reports are indicating, they're not going to bring him back. They're going to let him go. I still have like just this one brain cell in my brain, which is not a lot of brain cells, by the way. But I got this one little feeling that maybe the Astros could come by at the last second and be like, all right, we'll give you this contract. So, but ultimately, I think George Springer, I think everyone can agree on this. I think George Springer ultimately ends up with the Mets. I just think this is the best fit. The Mets, they need an upgrade in center field. You got Steve Cohen now. You're trying to change the culture. You're trying to make something happen in Queens. And I just think ultimately they have the money to get it done. The only sticking point that I'm having with this is Steve Cohen has been on the record of saying basically he would like to stay under the luxury tax. But they've also been a little flexible with it, saying like, you know what, basically if we need to, okay, and we'll figure it out from there. I do think Steve Cohen ultimately, I do think he wants to stay under that luxury tax. I think him and Sandy Alderson both want to stay under that luxury tax. And if we take a look at the, hold on a second, let's actually, let's pull up the payroll right now for the Mets. Okay, so Mets. Here we go. So if we take a look right now, estimated payroll is at $179 million. A chair. Please calm down with the vomiting, my friend. I understand you don't like the move. Please grab some Pepto-Bismol while you can. We cannot have spamming in the chat, please. But getting back to the Mets payroll, you're currently estimated at $179 million. So the luxury tax is at 210. So roughly you have about 30, let's just say 30 million right now. That would fit. But the Mets have said that they want to have flexibility. They want to have flexibility in season in case they need to make moves in season. So I wonder, so that's where I'm a little like, a little bit, because the Blue Jays are hard after him, but the report was that they only offered $115 million over 5. That's $23 million per year. I just don't think that's going to get it done for George Springer. George Springer, I guess reports are saying that he wants $175 million. So 175 divided by 5 is $35 million. That's insane. He's not going to get that. So 35. So the middle point of that, hold on. Would be, if you met in the middle, that would be around 29 million. So I think the Mets could give that. If you give 29 over 5, so that's a 5-year 145. I don't think he's really worth that much, but it's free agency. You have to overpay for guys. That's the name of the game in free agency. So 5 over 45, 5 over 145. Was I saying 45 earlier? I'm sorry. 5 over 145. That's 29 million per year. The Blue Jays are offering 23 million per year. I don't see the Blue Jays coming up all that much. I could see the Blue Jays maybe going to 25, but I could see the Mets going to 29. I think the Mets do it. I think they're just going to do it. So I think ultimately, you're going to see Springer. Again, he's looking for 5 over 175, which is 35 million per year. I think they meet in the middle, and I think they give him like 28 to 30 million per year. I think 28, honestly, per year for him would be fair. 5-year, 140. I think that's fair for a Springer. I think that's a little much, but you got to overpay. That's just free agents. When you're the top free agents, you have to overpay for free agents. So I think George Springer, I think he's going to end up with the Mets. They have the payroll for him. I think they're going to have to make some kind of, at least one corresponding move to kind of give them more flexibility. He fits like a glove into this payroll, but they're going to have to get rid of someone. They just brought in Trevor May, Stroman, and of course, Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco. But what's another move that maybe they could make? So maybe, because if you bring in Springer, maybe you can dump Nimmo. And then you got, I don't know, maybe, do you get rid of a Conforto? That would be 11 million. Roughly. I thought my microphone just stopped working. Oh my God. Almost freaked out. I think ultimately, Nimmo, well, I don't know. Do you hang on to Nimmo? I think Nimmo, you stick him out and left. Nimmo's a really good on-base guy. I think you hang on to Nimmo if you can. I don't know. Do you try to part ways with a JD Davis? Where's JD Davis? So he's making $2,300. But then who's going to play third? So that's the only problem. I think ultimately, you got to get rid of a Conforto or a Nimmo. So one of those guys would have to go. And I think they would. I think they would make that happen. Would they get rid of Conforto? I wonder. I wonder if they would get rid of Conforto. I don't know. They would get a good amount of prospects for him, I would imagine. So if you go to their depth chart, well, actually, I can just go to the depth chart here on Fangraphs. So looking at the depth chart for the Mets. So right now, you're looking at Nimmo in center. So if you put Springer out in center, basically Springer goes right into that spot. Nimmo would slide over to left, and then that's it. Or you could get rid of Nimmo and then just keep Dominic Smith out there. Jeff McNeil, I think Jeff McNeil is going to be playing second. That's going to happen. Cano's not there. And then JD Davis. I think JD Davis, I think he stays at third. I keep thinking my microphone's going out, and I'm about to lose my mind. I think I'm just getting tired, everyone. But yeah, I don't know. I just think you just get rid of someone. I think you get rid of Nimmo, maybe Conforto, but then who plays right? That would be the only problem. I think you would just get rid of. I think you would get rid of Nimmo, unless you get rid of. Let me go back here. Let me go to the payroll. Unless you got rid of like a Nimmo and someone else, or Dominic Smith maybe. You're trying to think. You're gonna cut payroll if you want that flexibility. Could you part with maybe a Steven Matz? Maybe you can get rid of Steven Matz somehow. Who would take Steven Matz though? I don't know. Teams would want Seth Lugo, but you got to hang on to Seth Lugo. That's one of your best arms. JD Davis, you could figure out how to part ways with him, but again, it's only 2.3 million. That's tough. ultimately, sorry everyone, I'm kind of rambling here, but I think ultimately Springer, I think he's going to end up with the Mets. I just think it's a match made in heaven. His wife also has stuff going on in New York. I just think that's a good fit. I think Springer is the perfect fit for the Mets. I don't think the Blue Jays are going to pony up the money for him. I don't think you're going to see a team like the Astros come after him at the last second. I could maybe see the Astros actually coming after him and be like, hey, hold on, what do you think of this? And then he just says no to it. And then I don't see the Nationals going after him. Springer would be a great fit with the Nationals. Oh, that'd be really good. I just think the Mets, they're the best fit. Here we go. Coming in at number 1, we have finally made it to number 1. We have been here now. How long have we been here? Wow, 2.5 hours. Okay, I don't know why my time right now is saying 1 hour and 42 minutes. 2.5 hours. You guys are fantastic. 177 people in the chat. We have gained about 30 subscribers this stream. We're at 4.44K subscribers. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for joining the channel today. Before I start with number 1, if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, if you have yet to hit the like button, if you can hit those buttons for me. I'm very tired right now. I am somehow staying awake. It is 1 in the morning. I don't remember the last time I have ever been up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Do you guys stay up all night? I'm not used to this. I'm usually cuddling my pillow at 10 or 11. So, goodness gracious. Mr. Trevor Bauer. This is, you can make an argument if he's the number 1 free agent. You can make an argument for Springer being the number 1 free agent, JT Realmuto being the number 1 free agent. But I think all of us can agree that Trevor Bauer is the most talked about free agent. I think we can all agree on that. So that's why I have Trevor Bauer as the number 1 guy here on this list. Trevor Bauer, he's an interesting one. He's very interesting. Him and Miss Rachel Luba have been all over Twitter. They've been all over the social media. They're going after John Heyman. They're going after pretty much anyone that says nay to them. So Trevor Bauer is definitely the top available starting pitcher. Trevor Bauer, I think, is personally, I think he's a little overrated. Don't get mad at me. He had a really good year this past year. It was only 60 games. Just remember that. It was only 60 games. But Trevor Bauer, I think there's a lot of hype for him. And here's why. Because he's out there on social media. And yeah, he is good. Do I think he's at the level of like a Max Scherzer or a Justin Verlander or a Jacob deGrom or a Garrett Cole? No, but I think he definitely can be an ace of a staff. I just want to see more from Trevor Bauer, and I want to see that 60-game season over a full season. He's really only had like 2 or 3 like really good seasons. So ultimately, I think he's a little overrated just because he's so talked about. Real quick, if we actually go take a look at the stats before I get to my pick. Here we go. So Trevor Bauer, let's share the screen. Okay, so Trevor Bauer, I mean, obviously a fantastic year. Cy Young season, 1.73. Oh, we got something going on. Oh, Pro Baseball Radar, what is going on? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that because I am staying up way past my bedtime. And I'm very tired, so that's very appreciated. But getting to Trevor Bauer, a Cy Young season, I mean, a 1.73 ERA, a 2.88 FIP, 12 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9. I mean, goodness gracious, this guy had an awesome year. Granted, it was over 60 games. It was only against other Central teams, which, in my opinion, whoa, we got something else happening. David Knight, you are awesome, my friend. Thank you so much. A $10 super chat. Wow. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you sticking it out. Thank you. Good work. I need to know your streaming secrets. I just sit here at a desk and I just talk in front of a camera. But I do use Streamlabs OBS. It seems to be, for me, I like it the most. So it helps me kind of navigate, between all the different pictures and whatnot. So Streamlabs OBS, that's my recommendation. So, thank you again. $10 super chat from David Knight. Thank you so much. So, but Trevor Bauer, really, when you look at it, 2018 was a really good year. 2.21 ERA. He led the American League in FIP. If you take a look, ERAs are kind of in the 4s here. FIPs in the high 3s. But really, if you look at it, he's really only had 2 really good years. 2018 and 2020. However, he's just about to turn 30. You're going to get at least a few more good seasons out of Trevor Bauer. So, Trevor Bauer, where are you going? Where are you going? I don't think this is going to be a big surprise to a lot of people. Trevor Bauer, this team needs him the most. This team absolutely needs him the most, and I think we can all agree that Trevor Bauer needs to go to the Angels. And I think the Angels are going to find a way to get it done. I just think it's going to happen. I know this might not be the most exciting way to end it, but I think this is the team that's going to make it happen. I just think he's not going to go to the Mets. He's not going to go to the Yankees. He's not going to go to the Blue Jays. He's not going to go to my Red Sox. Dang it. You know what? I missed such a funny opportunity to just put the Red Sox logo on here. Dang it. That could have been such a good troll move. I hate that I didn't put the Red Sox on here. Oh, that would have been so funny. You all would have laughed. So anyway, but no, I'm not going to be like Mr. Giraffe Neck Mark. Sorry, I digress. But Trevor Bauer, Angels, it's a match made in heaven. It's, you get it? The Angels? Oh, I make myself laugh. I am not that funny. Here we go. So, taking a look at the depth chart real quick. So the Angels really need starting pitching. Oh my God. I just pulled up the depth chart. They have 3 guys. Come on. Trevor Bauer is going to the Angels. This is like Chester. That actually really would have been funny. Or you know what really would have been funny, Chester? That or the Rockies. That would have been really funny. Rod Baraha, thank you so much, my friend, for coming out tonight. Have a good night. Hey, if the Blue Jays pony up the money for George Springer, they'll get him. Anyway, but looking at the Angels, you got Dylan Bundy, Andrew Heaney, and Griffin Canning. You have to get Mike Trout to the playoffs. Get this guy right here. Can you please get him to the playoffs? Please. Please get him to the playoffs. I'm so sick and tired of this guy not being on the big stage. This guy right here. Trevor Bauer, do the vlogs, do whatever all you like to do. Bring in your camera to the grocery store and whatever the heck else you like to do with your camera. I don't care what you do with your camera. Anyway, I'm getting too far. Mike Trout, get this guy to the playoffs. Get him to the playoffs. Trevor Bauer, it needs to happen. But the Angels have already had honestly, the Angels have actually had a pretty decent offseason so far. They've added Jose Iglesias. I think Jose Iglesias could end up being the most underrated move of this offseason. I love Jose Iglesias. Do not underrate this move. Do not sleep on this move. I think this was fantastic for the Angels. I think this was better for them to do than all of the available free agents. This was such a good move. I love this move. This team is so close. Sure, they could use a catcher. They could use a JT Realmuto. They could still go get a JT Realmuto. They could still do it. Don't be surprised. But right now, you need to get Trevor Bauer. You need to get Trevor Bauer. You have to. You have 3 starting pitchers. 3. You do have Patrick Sandoval. He is there. But no. Trevor Bauer, he's going to the Angels. Done. It's done. Honestly, Trevor Bauer, I wouldn't be surprised if they already have a contract and they're just ironing out all the details. It has to happen. There's no other way. I mean, he's not going to go to the Blue Jays. He's not going to go to the Mets. He's not going to go to the Yankees. He's not going to go to the Rockies. He's not going to go to Japan. He's not going to go to the KBO. He's going to the Angels. He's not going to the Dodgers. It's not happening. MLB trade rumors, I'm sorry. I love you guys at MLB trade rumors, but the fact that you predicted Trevor Bauer to go to the Dodgers, that was, as Bryce Harper likes to say, that was a clown move. He was not going to the Dodgers. There's no way. They weren't going to spend that much money on him. Are you crazy? They weren't going to spend that much on him. The Angels have the payroll for him. There's no way the Dodgers are going to blow out their payroll for Trevor Bauer. That was not happening. I can't believe they picked the Dodgers over the Angels. I can't believe that. The Padres, maybe. But they have the payroll for him. They can definitely stay under the luxury tax. Oh my God, that starting rotation with Trevor Bauer would be insane. But the Angels, that's where I have him going. Ultimately, everyone, I'm just going to run through my list real quick. If anyone did miss anything, if you are just coming in, here are my predictions. I'm going to run through it really quick. I have Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright returning to the Cardinals. I have Archie Bradley going to the Yankees. Trevor Rosenthal going back to the Padres. John Lester going to the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker going to the Tigers. Alex Colome going to the Astros with Brad Hand. Andrelton Simmons going to the Athletics. Kirby Yates going to the Phillies. Jose Quintana going to the Twins. Jock Peterson going to the Cardinals along with Tommy La Stella. Colton Wong making probably one of the best infields of all time in Oakland. Holy crap, what an infield that would be. Jackie Bradley Jr. going to the Diamondbacks. James Paxton going to the Blue Jays. Corey Kluber going to the Yankees. Michael Brantley going to the Nationals. Jake Odorizzi coming to the Red Sox. We need it. Oh, please come to the Red Sox, please. Justin Turner going to the Blue Jays. Nelson Cruz going to the Twins. Didi Gregorius also going to the Twins. Masahiro Tanaka going to the Yankees. Marcus Semien going to the Orioles. Here, let me actually pull up this real quick. Hold on, sharing my screen. Liam Hendriks going to the Blue Jays. Marcell Ozuna going to the White Sox. DJ LeMahieu going to the Yankees. JT Realmuto going to the Phillies. George Springer going to the Mets. And Mr. Trevor Bauer going to the Angels. So, everyone, that is all I got for tonight. It is 1:20 in the morning. This is the longest, I think, or at least the latest I have ever streamed. Everyone, you are amazing. If you stuck out this whole thing, I think I have been here now for almost 3 hours. So about 2.5 hours now. So those are my updated free agent predictions. One more time, I'm just going to say it one more time before I leave. Hit that subscribe button if you're looking for more baseball news. Hit that like button for me. We are at 167 likes. If you have not hit the like button yet, let's try and get to 200 before I end the stream. And go follow me on Twitter. I'm talking baseball there throughout the day. So, everyone, I want to thank you so much for coming out tonight. I will be back here on Monday. So, we'll take the weekend off. we'll take a break from baseball, and we'll be back here Monday night. So, everyone, again, thank you so much for coming out to tonight's show, and I'll talk to you next time.